Well met, lords and ladies, Jacob Butter speaking, and welcome back to another episode of Minecraft Review. Yes, it seems that we've had 2 days without any streams on this channel whatsoever, because we did a double feature of D&D on the Butter Bunch. And yeah, it seems like, Gotcha Review is once again going to be returning sometime later. I kept saying I gotta get these, I gotta get the watch hours up, I gotta do more streams, and it's like, yeah, well, that's the same case on the other channel still, you know, things are happening. Uh, I've had too much going on at the start of the year, and people keep posting stuff. Case in point, Aphmau, because it seems like MyStreet After Dark is picking up steam as far as releases go. From 9 months wait between episodes 1 and 2 to more or less like I don't know, like a week or so, I think, between 2 and 3. So yeah, and as Aidan pointed out, right when we were in the middle of doing D&D, so couldn't address it immediately like we would have otherwise done. So we scheduled for right now. He also did say, could please delay the stream by 15 minutes, which I did. And then I was like, okay, I'll wait for him some more. Then I realized, wait a minute, he's already seen this video. He doesn't wait for these. So it literally doesn't matter. So no, but I'm sure he's going to have some thoughts on stuff towards the beginning. So I don't know. He'll probably show up at some other point. Much like Lila Sanders has shown up right now. And Just the Designers as well. I haven't seen either of them for some time. Josh and Ghost Kitty, absolutely, I have. Welcome all. Welcome all. Welcome one and all. Yes. But I will address something while we wait for him, I suppose, in the chat. Obviously, all that we know about this particular episode, well, I know about this big episode, is the title and thumbnail. Of three guys, one bathroom, which says a lot about what we're probably in for today. The last time we had a Zane, Gareth, and Lawrence video involving a bathroom, their basement flooded. So I don't know. There'll be there's something there. But yeah, to address this comment here about surprise that Zane hasn't moved out by this point, if we cast our minds back again to the bigger move, the reason that Zane hasn't moved out is because he needed to actually save up to do so, because he was living on his own beforehand, but that's when his house blew up. So yeah, that's the housing market being what it is and everything. And if you recall, last time on MyStreet After Dark, we did establish that this is just the timeline of MyStreet where Emerald Secret didn't happen, but also we have gone up to current events where, the housing market is much worse than it was, believe it or not. So yeah, I can see why he's still there, because remember, Emerald Secret didn't happen, but also Gareth referenced Twitter being called X now, so we have moved on from where we were at the point in time previously. Also, Labubus are a thing that were, and the mass hysteria around them was a thing. So that also shows you what time period we're in, basically. I do love how MyStreet After Dark's timeline was solved by the Labubu episode of all things, but there you go. Well, yes, this is MyStreet alternate US. Well, MyStreet's always been kind of alternate US. I mean, there was like one mini game where Caitlin like coyly says, "Oh, what's the United States?" But they never referenced it by name, but a lot of the stuff definitely works on US logic specifically. So yeah, it seems like the Ruan region as a whole has evolved in that particular direction. I think Tula was also somewhat analogous to Japan, but that's just a bit more of a stretch, Who's to say? Just if this is MyStreet and MCD, we all do. We all do. And that's why we've got what we have here today, with an episode 3 guys, 1 bathroom, as I mentioned before, which, yeah, from the get-go, it seems like, I mean, yeah, we did have like last episode, which doesn't revolve around anything much. MyStreet After Dark, and like obviously formerly referred to as side stories in general, it seems to be it seems to be just a case of like, okay, we're going back to the neighborhood antics that originally drained Jess when writing them, because it was just done so wearily often. But now that it's been such a long time, that itch has probably returned. And I'll say this as somebody who was as somebody who got burnt out writing a long running series, that does return some of the time. So I can definitely understand that. And I can also understand the idea that, we're going to get into a bunch of things that are probably not going to have major consequences overall. Much like, honestly, the majority of episodes of MyStreet, when you look at things statistically, like they do like evolve into each other, but not much ends up persisting from one to another, and less so in the side stories. But maybe that will change. Maybe that will change, and I have stored enough time for Aidan to be here, so we can get going.
Hello, yes. This video. Okay, so you know how last episode I was like talking about how the mentioning of Derek and like and Rachel like last episode, like that whole thing implies that this is a whole nother timeline.
Well, the fact that Aaron says there's
world.
no way that he's ever lost Aphmau implies another timeline.
Yeah. Basically, this episode takes like the small subtle things and just like, who needs to be subtle when we could be in your face about this world is not what you thought it was initially, at least, or initially what it appeared to be. It's a very distinct world, apparently. But we'll get to that. Oh God.
We certainly will, and if it's obvious, you can bet that most of the other Aphmau theorist channels are going to cover it. So write it out. I'm I'm predicting that right now. Anyway, without further ado, on with the review.
Use your oracle powers, Jacob. It's a blue jay.
Which doesn't work anymore because that's not the name of their company anymore.
Look, it's Roboto.
That is true. Roboto is canonically a blue jay. You're right.
God, I want to meet Alt. I want to meet Alt Roboto in the other world. Although he may be with Alt Orchid. Actually, never mind. He's probably
considering that Alt Bigglesworth is human, you never know what you're gonna get.
How does that work? Because it's just a timeline change, not a reality.
We don't know. That's like the one,
it's just a timeline change, not a reality change.
That's the one lingering plot hole that we haven't been able to address because of Ghostie's availability. So yeah, we need to get back to that. It's like, we ended one video being like, yes, let's track down Bigglesworth. Bigglesworth, it's you. Time skip to somewhere else. That just something didn't happen, didn't exist.
Oh. No! How dare you?
We go by Catface now.
Annoying creature. This house is already crowded enough. Wait. My alarm! No!
Oh.
Shove.
I'm loving the visual storytelling so far. Obviously, the title gives away what the plot is going to be in the first place, but just this idea in general, no words need to be spoken. We get exactly why he's panicked and why he's,
It's my turn! You didn't wake up on time.
Okay, fair enough. They do have dialogue. Never mind.
I pay more rent! I live in the basement!
So Zane, so there you go. That's the answer, Ghost Kitty. He pays more rent, that's why he's not able to save up as much.
You deserve to be there! Guys, get out of the way!
By the way, fun fact about Garv's shirt. If that shirt looks familiar, that's what he wore in season 6, before he got mind controlled and put on the armor. That was like his t-shirt in season 6.
Okay, fair enough.
Oh, you're gonna stink it up!
Oh,
see you, sucker.
Zane, you have a mask. You're less prone to smells.
Lawrence, get out! Oh, look.
Also, you're MyStreet humans. You canonically don't have noses. I don't know what you're complaining about.
You dead, you boob! Oh, don't worry.
Well, there's that again.
Yay! Door.
And there's that. Okay.
I mean, the door didn't dematerialize like it used to, but I mean, hey.
That's less iconic, yeah. All right.
The
I was gonna
TARDIS.
get a slight raise. That's not Levi drink worthy, but it's, it's close.
I called it first! I deserve my morning bathroom time! Let's fight!
Oh, the toilet went out the window.
I guess no one's using it now.
No one ain't using that bathroom.
Aaron, breakfast!
Guys are fighting again.
It's like I'd have loved it if Aaron was just like, what a perfect morning. I do love these mornings here with my 2 bathrooms. Isn't that nice?
Is it double clock?
Oh wait, yeah, they do have 2 bathrooms. Dang.
Hmm?
3.
Stop calling it.
I can imagine that both of them have a very prolonged morning routine, so it works out for them.
That.
I think I missed a line there.
Yeah.
I think I missed a line there. Okay, hold on.
Let me get my coffee.
Stop
Go
calling
back
it
one more
that.
time. You missed a line.
Okay. All right.
Aaron, breakfast!
Guys are fighting again.
Is it double clock brawl again? Let me get my coffee.
Stop calling it that.
I'm not. I honestly, even though I've heard it now, I'm not 100% sure what she said.
Double clock brawl? Brawl?
I think brawl is in like BRAWL. Yeah.
Okay, let's just clear the air.
We can't after Garth's dump.
How did he
No.
poop? The toilet went out the window. Where did he poop?
It was more of a literal dump. Yeah. The got together through the model of Aphmau character my shared on Reddit got us by Jessica. She commented it and made my year. But that kudos to you.
I
Yeah.
saw she was on Reddit. That's awesome.
Yeah. I tell you what, Jess is one of the people who's got my name right on streams consistently. Not more YouTubers do that when they read my comments.
How do they get your name wrong? Do
They say
add it-
Butler.
Oh.
Look, I get the bathroom at 6:55 a.m. every morning.
Oh, I'm sorry. It was 7 and you were not in there.
It was 5 minutes and my alarm didn't go off! I deserve to have it at 7 a.m. I pay more rent! Excuse me, you do not! Do too! I make it up at Garth work. What? Just
Gareth. Okay, that's one way of phrasing it.
chores, young man? Yes!
You know what? My mini theory time. He gets that idea from Garte. Garte used to call things Garte work the same way he called it. The same way he thought a dishwashing fairy was a thing. There you go.
What is Zane, your mommy?
No, he's my brother, idiot! You're the idiot. Great. Here
You're
we
both idiots.
go again. Oh yeah? What, you fumbled it with Kim?
Shut up! You can't even get a
Kim reference. Aphmau
Not-
remembers that.
Not just Kim reference, but Kim reference to how she was introduced in the series.
Yeah.
Although I guess that does mean that, she probably spent like considerably less time around Gareth because otherwise he wouldn't bring that up as if that was Lawrence's fumble.
Yeah, I mean, to be honest, the only reason Lawrence would have technically fumbled in the MyStreet universe is because Garth took her to a cabin for a few weeks, got possessed by a ghost, trauma bond. A lot of stuff happened without Lawrence. So,
Yeah, I mean the other reason is potentially because Ghost was like, "This isn't Zane. You are not allowed to date him. No," or something.
Should I? He is the only one I know who could help.
He not going to Aphmau instantly. That's progress.
Hey, Dad, it's me.
Garth?
Being a god.
No, Dad, Zane.
Oh, Punk Garth. How are things going, son?
Good. How about you?
Things are going good. Just been reading the paper.
Oh,
Okay.
It's the same paper, I guess. You know, there's one you know, thing they have in common.
Oh god. I hate Garte with a passion right now.
Is it any different to how much you hate him normally? I didn't comment on it because it's just a thing he does all the time.
You know how each of these episodes there's some level of a heart-to-heart, right?
I mean, thus far we are 2 for 2, so I mean, I
Yeah.
can't call that a trend just yet, but
The heart-to-heart's involved, and it's about
Okay.
their relationship. And you know
Good.
when MyStreet
sounds
talks about how Derek tried his best as a father and he wasn't a bad dad.
You mean how people talk about like how Sylvana tried so hard and she wasn't bad either? Yeah, I do remember these things.
It's that kind of thing where it's that kind of conversation where it's like, no, stop rewriting history. And this episode, stop rewriting history.
When I say that, well, first of all, thanks for spoiling that for me. But second of all, you know, when I say MyStreet is back, it's truly is back. Even the faults of it have returned to how they were before.
Oh yeah.
Paper 2. Interesting. Did you see the
Zane, are you
Did you see the line that Jess hasn't given me and I can't improvise?
calling for help with something?
Wow, how neat you realized. You see, well, it's hard to explain.
Uh-huh.
Oh, also,
I need
fun
help.
fact: Garte is wearing the same shirt he wore in season 6.
Yes, Aidan, there are people who are wearing the same things they wore in season 6. It seems to be a
No,
pattern.
I like calling it out when I see it. It's not ultra common in the show. It's a handful of characters wear it.
It's happened for literally 50% of the characters we've seen in this episode thus far.
Well,
I don't know if
yeah,
it's that rare.
but not everybody gets that treatment. So I just like mentioning it because I think it's a fun. It's a detail that not everyone picks up on. Because I mean, I pick up on it because I like character designs. Not everyone notices it. I guess.
I mean, you could call it an Easter egg, or you could call it not designing a new outfit for them.
They show up in new outfits later. These are like
also, can we review that dialogue for a second there? Oh, you're calling for help? Oh, how neat for you to notice. It's hard to explain. What is it? I need help. Well done. 10 out of 10 scene.
We established that.
And it's crazy you ain't.
Thank you, Garte. Garte is me in Fallen Angel scripts.
Censored because,
Oh, out with it, boy.
Oh, ooh, I like that move.
Well, yeah. Also, this is another subtle callback, I suppose, because you know when we reduced to Vlad, there was that whole thing about like throwing the phone away so that they wouldn't have to call Ziana.
Garth, my precious boy! Of course, easy! We can do that in 3 days' time.
what?
That is not how home renovation works, but okay. Especially doing home renovation like this, you probably would, if you're renovating your whole house, you'd have to probably buy a hotel or find a friend to live with in the meanwhile, because you can't exactly live in a construction zone.
That's not unreasonable to do in 3 days. There are actually a bunch of shows, by the way, of home renovation shows like over here that for a while my parents were addicted to. That actually do involve relocating the family, like, you know, within the span of a very short time and doing a lot of renovations in record time, which obviously that's part of the TV show. That's not necessarily part of the course, but obviously I feel like the people who have connections to a literal entertainment company can probably, you know, get the same schedule going.
Yeah,
Not to mention, 3 days to find a hotel is not that bad.
Yeah, they get some contractors. Definitely.
Dishwasher!
Garte!
What? The dishwasher is ready.
Oh, so he knows that there's no fairy in there, hopefully. He knows there's no fairy, right?
Maybe? I hope so.
Oh, whoops, sorry.
Our boy needs us. We must go back
Don't you mean your
to
boys?
MyStreet.
Zay never got his request in, so as far as he knows, only Garth needs help. Or needs something specific.
Well, they live in the same house, so regardless, they would be helping both.
We never lived there, honey.
MyStreet
No
reference,
time.
so.
Oh,
Also, one note I like about Garte's eyes, they're not the stupid new eyes they use for the men. I hate them. The eyes are so tiny on the men now because they give them like the stupid eyebrow to shrink the eye, and it's like their eye is so small. Stop using it. It's annoying me. Anyway,
You know, this is like the direct opposite reason that because remember when you made like that HD skin for Cynicanor and I didn't use it because the eyes were too big?
yeah.
Yeah, it's like the opposite thing for me. Although then again, Cynicanor's eyes are like 1 pixel tall anyway. So
Yeah.
that was why it stood out specifically for him. The other thing, yes, that is precisely what she thought for a split second.
Yeah.
Also, is this going to be with side stories? MyStreet After Dark was called Side Stories at first, so you know, I consider it a spiritual successor. Yeah.
our son needs us.
Gartes casually broke the fourth wall there. He casually broke his flooring. That's something, and possibly, you know, his ribs. They're really using like any excuse right now to like give them more movement.
Bane, stop the pacing!
Let him.
I
Maybe it'll
love
make him
Lawrence's
tired.
outfit here. I love the green flannel.
Fair enough.
Enough to wake up on time.
Oh, shut it, Muppet! Ooh, we pulled out the British words!
Aren't you British? Talking to Andy.
What's got his underwear in a knot?
Also, I don't even believe that Muppets. Well, the word Muppet is used more often over here as an insult, but I'm pretty sure it doesn't originate from Britain because it's a Jim Henson thing. Anyway.
It's been a while since we've seen our dad. It has?
I mean, technically, yes, it has been several years.
Saw him last
for us.
weekend. What? I asked if you wanted to come. Whatever.
Probably wasn't listening.
I mean,
This actually has reminded me of an episode of Legend of Korra, but if they do go down that direction further, I'll talk about it more.
Oh, Susu, you're looking as handsome as ever. Oh, Gargar, dashing as always.
you thanks.
I wonder if I wish he went to Zane first because he was closer to her, or because
Nah,
because
he's
she knew that
definitely the
Garter
favorite
would
son.
ignore.
Definitely
No,
the favorite son.
I meant more so because you knew that Garte would ignore him otherwise, and he needed to feel prioritized. That's what I was thinking. I don't think Ziana has favorites.
Yeah.
I am handsome. Mom, I'm not handsome.
Oh, I'm sorry. You're so dark and scary.
Also, look how tiny her eyes look on her face. Her eyes are tiny. I don't like the way they look.
Mom, I'm a grown man.
Then maybe you should have acted like it. And
They don't look that much smaller. They are smaller, but they don't look that much smaller in comparison. I think it's because they're lower down. Her forehead is larger. They've lowered the eyes. That's what makes them look smaller.
Yeah,
I don't think they're
because they look a lot smaller based on the fact that it's just like the green pixels with a little like black rim around, short black rim. When before you had these big bulky squares above the female eye. So that's why the hair you see a bit more of the forehead because the big bulky eyebrows aren't there anymore.
Yeah. By the way, Ziana has always been Michi.
Yeah.
Amy Kitsune has voiced both those characters from day one.
Which
ask for help sooner.
Which I'm surprised that Ziana hasn't appeared more in Aphmau's modern day videos because I know at one point Michi was appearing in quite a few of them, which I'm surprised she didn't have Ziana actually appear in any of them.
That's like asking why Eric isn't around or Dante just because Zane is.
Oh no, Dante isn't around in some of the modern videos. Not a lot of them. But
No, I know we literally saw him last time, but I mean, like, it's like asking, okay, why aren't these characters voiced by the same people so prevalent? Why isn't Chad around in these videos? We already talked about the fact that Andy is always available. We went to that in Mermaid Tales. It's the same idea. It's whoever's relevant. It's also the original reason that Sebastian Todd gave for why Lawrence wasn't around is that he understood that he was just not plot relevant or it was hard to write him in. That was the original reason why it was difficult to place him in something.
I mean, yeah. Although I would argue it's not really hard to write in like Lawrence. You could make up an excuse. I mean, Aphmau finds excuses to write in certain characters. She found an excuse to write in Kim and the Emerald Secret. Let's be honest, Kim had no reason to go on that trip if it wasn't for Garth forcing her to go. She was kind of forced on that trip. She was just there when it happened.
I'm guessing the reason that she was the swap out for Lawrence was potentially because of the whole ghost plots and having to get somebody in there that wouldn't traumatize Zane even further.
Yeah.
Dad.
Oh, and Lawnman, good to see you.
It's Lawrence.
Okay, that feels out of character. She would absolutely know Gareth's friends' names.
Hey,
Aaron, have you been the whole time? How long have you been standing
for
there?
Hours? I said hours.
Is your coffee cold, sir? Is that?
looks like Garth and Zane's parents are over.
Oh, good. I forgot to mention. Zane's mom is coming over here while they work on.
Are they doing the cliche of like one spouse yelling to the other while the other one's like distracted or something? Like, honey, something's happening. That's great, dear. Are they doing that really?
the house.
Oh, neat.
And my parents are coming over too.
No, we don't need them. Please. Yeah, no, you, me both, Aaron. Garte's enough to deal with for one episode.
Well, you boys enjoy your little Home
I
Depot.
hate Garte
I'm going
so
to
much.
Aphmau's.
Mm-hmm. Well, guess what? You don't have to suffer alone if Sylvana's showing up. Which, by the way, wait, if Sylvana's showing up, but then Ziana's just leaving, well, that's a tragedy, honestly.
She's going to Aphmau's.
Innovation! Cheez-Its woman!
Dad, I'm so glad you're here.
Anything for my...
Do you know if anyone wrote an AU where Lawrence was with them during a Emerald Secret instead of Kim? You know what? That's something that we should probably look into at some point. Just different types of Aphmau fan fiction, because Aphmau fan fiction as a whole, like the only ones we got to see were the ones that the 5-minute
Were
ones
hilariously dumb.
they read on the channel. Yeah, like that's So there are probably others that were a bit more refined, let's say. Mm-hmm. Also, Pat did come back. He voiced Travis literally last episode again.
Yeah. Oh, we haven't
Boy,
seen
Garth.
Caitlyn so far in this new era of side stories though, which I'm kind of hoping to get her like next episode. I miss Caitlyn. I like her.
All right.
She's cool.
Dad,
To be fair, Caitlyn probably would absorb the drama of this significantly. If anything, you know what? Caitlyn and Kawaii-chan should have been the ones doing the spouse cliche.
Based off characters in this episode, though, I'm honestly surprised Caitlyn didn't make an appearance because I
assume that when Aphmau says my parents, she means Sylvana and Eric, not Sylvana and Zach. So yeah, that would make sense.
Yeah.
sir, I highly doubt we can get a home renovation done in just 3 days between the 4 of us.
They are really getting into like like Zane being like much more traumatized or like conditioned than he was before.
Huh. That's why I brought the men.
Of course you did, because that only makes sense. What are you talking about, Zane?
Everyone has
Okay,
the
not
same
exactly the
G.
contractors I was thinking of, but all right. Okay, seeing that's going to turn in pink shirts, I'm scared.
Yeah. This is why I have so many issues and confusion.
And seeing that face, I'm even more scared. Right, so, referring to Aphmau's parents again.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's what I was like. Yeah. Like, no, she didn't mean Zach.
Well, no, because Garte called him, so, there's yeah, probably
Oh,
not
well,
even aware.
hey, at least Terry's back. He's in the frame. You just can't see his head. Oh. Hi, guys.
Yeah, okay, Terry being back gives me hope. Terry is one of the only MyStreet parents that doesn't suck. So, you know what? There we go. I'm glad. I am very glad right now. Okie dokie.
This is why I have so many issues with this episode.
Oh, there he is. Okay, all right. Well, I guess Aaron got 2 calls then. Fine.
Okay,
Dad Bod Squad, not just Dad Squad, which is what they all are, right? Dad Bod Squad specifically.
Okay.
And also, of course, 67, which, by the way, they're not on 67 MyStreet anymore, but oh well, close enough.
Okay, so
Close enough.
As cute of a pun that this is, or at least as much as it sounds nice together, minus the number, of course. I do not like the use of dad bod here because we know canonically, at least, Derek and Garte, probably Eric, based off the whole wrestling thing from season 2, do not have dad bods. They are muscular men.
I assume that Zach being a werewolf would also enter that same category.
And then also
Terry named it. Terry named the squad.
Terry was possessed by Demon Warlock. I don't know if I feel like at least he would be a lot more lean, if anything, if not muscular, because
Come on, we've got to work out some more.
Demon Vessel.
I understand you're running a company, but you will go to the gym.
But no, but I hate the misuse of dad bod here. It's like a few years ago, I think like Lizzo came up with a song where it's like, I need a big boy, I need a big boy. That
of
whole
course
song,
Lizzo came out with that song. That just makes sense.
Yeah, and like that whole song was all about wanting a larger man. But then you have a bunch of like muscular bodybuilders doing that. It's like, that's not who the song is talking about. Stop misusing it, and it annoys me.
Well, okay, someone can be considered to be called big if they build up a lot of muscle and they make themselves physically bulkier. In fact, that's actually what my brother says. You know, that's why he said whenever he said he wanted to get big beforehand, is because he was referring specifically to working out.
Okay, yeah, but that's not what the song was at all referring to, and it made me kind of sad. I'm like,
I mean, are you sure? Because the way you described the lyrics, it could be taken both ways very easily.
No, the music video though. The music video did not.
Yeah, the music video could be taken one way, and the song could be taken 2 ways. So you know, statistically speaking, I feel like
that's what the song was going for: larger men, not muscular.
Okay, you say that. The evidence that you provided suggests otherwise.
No.
Anyways, I'm trying to let in Ghosty at this point. I was trying to be like, okay.
anyways, though, I do not like the misuse of dad bod squad here.
Yeah, I
don't like the misuse of it.
This is the hill that we're dying on, not the fact that like these characters are even physically in the same.
Oh yeah, no, there are other issues, and the worst part is I don't know when we're going to talk about my confusion with this video, because in this video, Zach and Terry especially.
Are you about to describe us things that we're going to see on camera anyway?
No, I'm saying we're never explained their actual like relationship or anything about their backstory or the context of this world.
This is the explanation that they are in the dad bod squad and therefore they have a connection with each other.
But they hated each other.
Well, now they don't.
That makes no sense. And when we get to the relationship between two other characters, one character in the shot, one character not in the shot, it also raises more questions of what is canon and who is dating who in this world.
Okay, great. We'll address that in a second. And I also want to address like what Ghosty was saying because we cut away from her. I do have a question for you beforehand because before I lose my train of thought. Is it ever established that Zach and Terry hate each other? I don't remember that being ever stated.
I mean,
you said that like it was a thing, but I don't know.
Oh, I mean, I was talking more Zach and Terry, not Terry. Technically, it was Michael, but proxy.
Then that doesn't count.
Well, it's a lot more complicated. The relationship's a lot more complicated than this.
Aidan, we have met literal DID systems. We of all people know the differences. Anyway, Ghosty, please talk.
I was about to argue semantics and say that dad bod does have a specific connotation with dads that are at least a little bit overweight. So yeah, Aphmau is misusing it in this context.
Yes.
And I will also say that all of these characters in the same room together is hilarious considering their shared history.
Which is what Aidan was saying already. Yeah.
Yeah, they don't even really do anything through shared history in this episode or really talk about it or anything besides
Because
one.
why would they?
Yeah, but they don't even have much of a dynamic. Honestly, this episode kind of feels like there's just a gimmick of, hey, the MyStreet dads, what if they all worked on a house together versus actually exploring that dynamic?
Which is this is probably the only avenue they could do something like that in, because this being a spin-off from the side stories, like this is where they have like a bit more of like the leeway to do that. We do know like how they could have all entered in contact with each other to begin with, because again, Garte called them. He's like the linchpin. He's like the Aphmau of their group.
Actually,
minus the common sense.
No, actually, Garte knew Derek through business, and
Yes.
also Garte knew Terry and Zach through business, but he has no connection to Caitlin's dad. Caitlin's dad
is married to his wife's best friend. I rest my case.
Like that, yeah.
Yeah, but that's more of a connection to Zach to what's his name to yeah. There's connection to Zach and Eric. Oh my god, it rhymes with Derek. Why am I stupid? I argue.
I thought when Ghosty joined that she was going to be on losing the plots, where she wants to be let in, but no, I was wrong.
No, in fact, I've been here. I've just been on my Gotcha channel, because I'm about to upload this second part of the thing I'm working on, and I thought, I'd join stream for a bit. And here Aidan's losing the plot. Yes, they do all know each other via demon warlock shenanigans or otherwise.
Yeah, or in the case of this universe, a partial lack thereof, because the second shenanigans we established in last episode didn't happen in this reality, which probably means that they could have a lot more amiability towards each other anyway. Although the one thing that isn't explained is I suppose like how they've Zach has escaped from the alternate dimension, but that's the only thing I'm like, okay.
I mean, the demon warlock may not even be canon to this world, to be honest. The demon warlock may just never happened.
Well, that depends. I guess we'll have to put a pin on that, because that does complicate the Labubu theory I had.
Like again, that also complicates things, because let's just state the fact that Goth's dad wouldn't have become a successful real estate agent if it wasn't for the demon warlock giving him that exposure already, selling the forever potions.
Yeah.
Which implies that he's still around somewhere, just not, again, manifesting here.
Yeah, he's probably later in the plot. Who knows? This probably ties back into the main MyStreet plot.
I guess
anyway,
that's all we know for
in a
now.
Paradoxical sort of way. Yeah, that's all we know. Let's not fuss with this anymore, because if I have to look at Dadbod Squad 6-7 for any longer, I'm gonna lose my goddamn mind.
I doubt that they will address him in After Dark. I mean, I was trying to segue back to the video, so might as well.
Check out these games, guys!
Okay, I thought for a second that they were like, putting their hands up in surrender for some reason, but then I'm like, oh wait, no, one of them is Travis's dad. Of course they do this.
No, they're just all flexing.
One thing I don't like about having all these dads together, though, is they all been hit with like the same ray of personality, or at least when it comes to physique.
Yeah,
because like
they've been hit by the Aphmau ray from season 2 Finished Up High. Yeah.
Oh god, I don't like that, because
which is great. Let's go ahead and see that, because they haven't talked at this point.
No, they've only
6-7 at the end.
I'm so glad my dad wasn't in this.
We don't know your dad.
Why is my dad?
Which is a relief.
Aaron, my mom is here and she brought some of the other moms too.
Oh, wonderful. And your dad is out there too.
Aphmau, how do you know this?
Maybe she got a text from... Yeah, she got a text from Sylvana, maybe. I don't know, possibly.
Well, yeah.
Yeah, also said like, I don't know, Hot Mom Patrol is on board, or whatever the equivalent would be, I don't know.
Oh, he is?
He's flexing with the other dads.
I was about to say,
I don't-
Aphmau, why are you happy your estranged father is here?
Oh no, because she has a relationship with her father that's unexplained in this episode. Don't worry about it. Don't worry about it, guys. I know none of this makes sense, but don't worry about it. Apparently.
That would be like if I introduced you guys to my dad and said, hey, here's the super coolest man on the planet.
No,
Yeah.
that's like
We know enough for that to be confusing for us, yeah.
that's like if you brought your dad on stream and you're just like, oh hi, what's up? And just talk to him casually and then just had him leave the room.
Wow, like all of the bad things that my childhood held didn't happen.
Yeah, it's weird.
Remember that one gacha trend? Remember that one gacha trend? What would your character look like if all the bad stuff didn't happen? Well, now we know. The answer is like season 6, sometimes.
I think I want to see that.
I mean, this is in less than season 6. This is if Aphmau's childhood as we knew it didn't happen.
Like
Aphmau's childhood is completely different, apparently.
Yeah, Aphmau's canonical childhood is that she was raised by a single mother. Where did her relationship with her dad come from? Like, this is kind of...
Well, I guess we're about to find out because Sylvana is unfortunately in this.
Yay, all the moms.
Which is more awkward because doesn't Sylvana and Eric have a terrible relationship?
Yeah.
Sylvana and Eric have a fantastic relationship. Sylvana and Zach have, they
have a terrible one because he cheated on her.
Precisely, yes.
See, with this group, we're bound to.
I forget.
Maybe that's the diverging point. Maybe that's what didn't happen in this reality.
But if Zach didn't cheat on her, then she wouldn't get with Eric, and that's a whole nother can.
I mean, we haven't seen them together specifically here.
Yeah,
and as you said, you raised the question as to who's dating who, so that we can include that now.
Get everything done.
This is gonna be great.
I'm so confused.
Wait,
This is
Dad, can
missing
you-
so many timeline points that it just
Yeah.
it's
no.
like I'm confused what the timeline of the side stories is now. Is this just a parallel dimensional universe where
Probably.
Lawrence didn't, get snapped by Thanos?
Well, from last episode, what I thought the implication was that Season 4 was the point that didn't happen this time, because Aaron did say,
Yeah.
I don't want to lose her, I'm terrified that would ever actually happen, implying it didn't happen. So that's where I thought the branch point was. Although now, I'm guessing that if there was a singular diverging point, it might have happened significantly before something else.
Like Aph's childhood before.
We don't
Yes,
know.
like Aph's childhood before.
No, actually, before Aph's childhood, based off of all the dads being cool with each other. So something had to happen before that too.
I think that was more so during the childhood, honestly.
No.
I think they're all. I think they're
Oh,
all
yeah.
born at this point, but yeah.
Maybe. Oh yeah. they
Didn't
were
Derek
both
just
in
buy
experience.
contract workers to do this instead?
Hold up,
There's-
fellas. I don't know what he speaks.
Okay, hold on, Zane. If that was your plan, why didn't you do that from the beginning?
Yeah, like you could have called the contract workers, and none of these people would be here right now.
But no. Here's the thing. Daddy got dough though. Daddy got dough.
I guess there's that.
and technically connections. I'm sure he could get you the highest class ones.
Mhm.
Well, you better tell him what's what.
I know.
God, I hate
Okay,
that you
I will
said
say-
that, Keston.
Yeah, I will say, he's significantly less
Oh.
raspy than before because, which honestly makes it makes sense to a certain degree. I can I can tell you the Fred voice is not designed for prolonged D&D sessions.
Oh, I know. I got this. Zane, working on your own house is a rite
I thought it was gonna do like the Miles Morales, like, hey.
of passage for a man. Do I hire someone to take your mom to dinner on Valentine's Day?
Knowing you probably would do that, or you'd hire someone to buy you chocolate bars. So you don't have to talk to her.
No, but that's right, Zane. I take her out to dinner every year because I love her, and a woman is like a house.
A woman did
Go on.
what?
Wait, did they just all? None of them looked in Aphmau's direction. Did they just detect that she was there? I sense female.
I sense a woman.
No, I sense I made a mistake of some kind.
Yes, Ben
Aphmau,
10
what are you
meme.
doing?
I tell you what, you know what? I'll fix it. Robust, strong, warm on the inside. Boom. Perfect. Fixed.
Here.
Oh,
Well, my mom said
that
to tell
doesn't
my
make it
dad-
any better.
Oh, wait,
To
wait,
make
wait.
it worse.
Yes.
How so? They're all
to
compliments.
stop messing around. And get to
Yeah,
work.
it
Also,
just, if you think about it, it's really strange. Warm on the inside.
We're mammals.
Ah, yeah.
That is literally true.
You may want to rewind. You may want to rewind to the beginning of Aph's line.
Ghosty, we got to go into mammal biology again. I don't think we want to do that with Aidan here.
Oh God, not again.
Yeah, Aiden needs to take a biology class anyway. Let's do it later.
Subject 1, homeostasis. Anyway.
Made a mistake of some kind.
Aphmau, what are you doing here?
well, my mom said to tell my dad to stop messing around and get to work. Also, don't drink too many root beers. Oh, and my house is open if you need anything. Bye.
Okay, fair enough. So, I mean, I thought you were going to say I sense shenanigans and I'm the main character. But yeah, that works too. Also, I guess that does mean that, you know, her mum and her dad are in fact talking to each other. So, all right. There you
I
go.
don't understand.
Either
Talk
one-
to him
Bye,
after he
princess.
cheated on you.
Like either
Again,
one.
that may be the thing that didn't happen this time. Or
Yeah,
the
we
comments are
don't-
saying possibly also Demon Warlock, but that, one or the other.
Also, there Zach would
It's not
never.
talking.
Okay, Zach would never scream "Hi, Princess" like that, or at least not the Zach I'm used to. Zach
Which
is
is clearly not the, but the Zach you're used to wasn't involved in
Mm,
Aphmau's
mm.
life beyond like, you know, they're like attempting to call every so often and Sylvana shutting that down.
I mean, I guess.
So
but,
it is entirely possible that he
but
would
like,
call her princess if he were more in her life.
but he felt so much more grounded. That feels not grounded.
Calling someone princess isn't grounded.
Yes, like there's no darkness. This
Like
makes
that's
I
the
need the
point.
darkness. I need the dark. I need a little bit of grounding darkness. I need some gritty realism, just a little bit. I'm losing.
Well, I'll tell you what's realistic. Want some realism? Here's some realism. You know, so sometimes parents have pet names for their children, like Princess or Zuzu or Gaga or P.
P.
Yes,
Yeah,
that's Vlad's one.
that's
That's Vlad's
I-
one. Yeah.
It's Sugar Pea, not just
No,
P.
it's
No. Sugar
No,
P is Caitlyn. P is Vlad.
yeah. There's
Season 1, everyone. Season 1.
Yeah, I know it's season 1. I'm just going to make fun of him for it.
yeah.
Well,
There's also earlier in
thank
the
you,
se-
Ghost Kitty.
earlier in the but I don't think Zach doesn't get the vibe that he would do that for the bits we see about him in season 5 and 6.
What we
And
see about him is
flashbacks.
that his biggest regret is what happened, and he wants to and not being around for his child.
Anyways,
Which is exactly what he's doing now.
anyways, this also earlier in the scene when like all the men gasped about Zane suggesting a contractor, and there was like, oh, you gotta set him straight.
Mm-hmm.
You know, touches on concepts such as masculinity and
Yes.
concepts that this episode flirts with, but never says
Yes.
anything about it. And their
Doesn't need to.
And no, and their concepts, you're gonna flirt with that concept. This is a concept that is near and dear to my heart. As someone who struggled with their own perception of themselves and their own perception of their own masculinity and lack thereof in many resorts. And the fact that this episode flirts with it, but doesn't even properly address it in any meaningful way, annoys me to death, because this is a concept that greatly affects me in my life, in my relationship with my parents. It's complicated there.
Okay, so
And it
okay,
hits
so
too close to home, but it doesn't say anything about it
Mm.
or anything meaningful about it, and it annoys me.
so let's establish one thing. So at the start of this video, you were complaining about this series is not being subtle enough, but yet you're actively saying that they subtly address a point of contention.
No, they don't
and
subtly address it. They
they subtly convey it then, And you're saying that they should have made that more obvious, despite what you said earlier about this series not being subtle enough.
But they haven't made a statement on their feelings of it. They just had some moments that alluded to it, but didn't even make a statement whether or not they agree with that mentality. It's
You picked up on it.
I picked up on that they were trying to say something. It's when you're trying to say a message, but it's unclear what your message is saying. It's that. You're trying to say something, but you said your message so horribly, or you didn't even commit to properly saying the message. Like, you started saying the message, but then you stopped halfway through. I don't know what you're saying. By the end, that I don't know if you're for it, against it, think some,
Is it not saying a thing, or is it allowing you to draw your own conclusions about it?
It's not
because
saying
from
anything.
It's
not saying anything.
You'll either be on the side of Zane reacting to that bit, that being and the absurdity of it all, Zane being the grounded character that he is comparative to others, and therefore more likely to reflect more of a sense of reason anyway. Or you'll be on the side of the dads, in which case you're likely not going to be swayed by any sort of verbal argument anyway.
They don't.
It's similar to a lot of South Park commentary, not all the time, because sometimes they make it incredibly obvious. Some of the time,
well, that's some of my issues with some South Park episodes. Some South Park episodes don't even actually say it, where I end up coming away from the episode. I'm like, okay, what were you even trying to say with that by the end of the episode?
That's the best part. It's making you ask questions about it. What do you take away from it? That's going to be different. Ours going to be different for everyone anyway. If they try to provide too many answers, spoon feed down you, that's a different problem on the other extreme.
And
there's also a chance if they had made the message that there's much clearer in this, you might have not liked the results.
I mean, I don't like the result anyways, so I would have taken anything over it. And also, and again, this episode just kind of feels like it makes Zane feel like Dookie for not being a quote-unquote man's man. And then we never properly address it outside of, I guess, a vague conversation with Dad near the end. But it's not even about that. It's about something else.
We'll see. We'll get to that point. Yeah.
Yeah, unlike Aidan, I don't watch these episodes beforehand. One, because I want to wait until the actual review to talk about it, and two, as someone who's been described as more manlier than most men, being a bisexual woman, I can't help but to feel the opposite of Aidan, in that this episode wasn't made to talk about the man's man conversation. Although a lot of manly shenanigans, I guess, are going to happen.
Yeah.
If you have people actively acting silly around something, it's like the Labubu craze in the last episode. They never outright say, "Hey, this is what capitalism is doing to us. Like, what's going on?" We just let people experience someone going insane, literally, and people going crazy around this thing, and then we conclude,
yeah, but
we're all crazy.
Yeah, but the Labubu
if someone attends the Black Friday deals like every year, they're not going to be swayed by that. But everyone else is watching it, being like, "Oh yeah, what the heck?"
Yeah, but the Labubu commentary was pretty obvious, and was also pretty active in this. It's not as active in it, but it's still there. It annoys me that it's never emphasized and confirmed on what they're actually trying to say, which
I guess you could make the point that that's not the point. But you could also
then why add it? That's not the point, but I'm going to add it anyways into an episode as a theme, or not even a theme, as some character beats.
You could easily just say that it's a motif.
And again, a lot of this comes with a very personal connection to me and not being experiences.
This is the point where I ask you to kindly disconnect yourself so heavily, so we could actually watch the content and see what happens.
It is potentially as you've alluded to there, that your personal experience with this theme that you yourself have said is not the main focus of the episode might be clouding your judgment a little bit regarding this matter.
Well, also the whole Zach being here and the me not understanding this world is also not helping my feelings on this episode.
That's separate. That's a point. That
Yeah.
confusion will linger throughout the rest of the episode. Speaking of which,
Okay, so let's see this baby.
Didn't you sell him the house? You sold him the house. You should know what it looks like.
well, if he's not been there for some time, I don't know what they've done with the place. Also, he needs to see the damage that's been sustained and why they need to be there in the first place.
Oh well, it's a home renovation or / expansion, so. I guess it's a home
Okay, they're
renovation.
not there to. They didn't. Well, there's no new toilet anyway.
So,
Yeah, the toilet went out the
You
window.
see?
Remember? And Garth still took a dump.
The issue is we're so cramped in here.
Yeah, it looks a lot
It's
more
been
cramped when
driving
there were
us
that many
crazy.
people. Oh, yeah, the toilet's in here.
Hmm.
Glad it went out the
Okay.
window.
I guess they fixed that by themselves. Good to know.
Mhm.
I can imagine Garth panic fixing it. Just be like, I need to go. I need to go. I need to go. I need to go. I need to go.
Well, I do reckon we need to get an expansion.
and
Thank you.
the basement. It's my room, and it's just concrete with nothing.
If you get an expansion, you won't need to stay in the basement necessarily.
Easy. We've been
Yeah. Like, if you guys get the expansion, you could probably have your own room.
Mm-hmm.
Who knows?
I
Yeah.
presume by expansion they don't mean the Hello Neighbor style of expansion, where just like an extra bit attached to the rest of the house. Probably not.
doing home renovations since forever.
Which was surprisingly, according to Austin from the Science, structurally sound. But anyway,
That's where we started making
minus
our
the
money.
bathwater.
Apparently, they got their money through home renovations. That's what instead of forever potions, it was home renovations. That's how they started making their money. Apparently, according to their.
Well, there you go. There's the diverging point. They pursued
Yeah,
they
they
pursued different
pursued-
avenues,
They pursued
and that's why
different
they stuck
avenues.
together. Yeah, they had a much healthier environment in
but,
this case.
but also one thing I don't like Derek, the fact that Derek does home renovations. Derek, that's not Derek's personality. Derek's a businessman. Derek isn't the kind of person to do home renovations in MyStreet.
Well, he might handle the finances. He might handle the managerial side of things.
Nah, not in this episode. Which it just feels kind
Well,
of.
no, no. Well, this episode he wouldn't be required to, but yeah.
In this episode, it feels out of character for. Well, it feels out of character for a lot of these characters. To be fair, a lot of the personalities are completely reversed.
I guess the other question is that if Zane knew about the home renovations thing anyway, wouldn't he have just thought, oh, okay, this would be like their avenue of expertise anyway, so why not? So
Yeah.
so he wouldn't have suggested calling contractors.
Yeah, so I don't know. Maybe they're an entertainment company that got started through doing home renovations.
Well,
They-
I think
oh my
they're
god,
music
they made the
company-
TLC. They worked on TLC, Jacob. That's what happened, obviously.
TLC.
The
All right,
lore. They own TLC, actually.
Anyway, let's break.
Also,
I mean,
I
they bought them out. They bought them out later on.
I
They
think
got
we
bigger.
need to explain that to Jacob, who is a very much non-American. TLC
Well,
is
I believe TLC is the learning channel, right? That's what
Yeah,
it's called.
Yeah.
it was called the Learning Channel, but for
That's
a
where you get all
while
your
it
home
was
renovation
infested
shows.
with home renovation shows.
Okay, yeah, because the only thing I've watched with TLC rated is I Am Jazz, so that's
yeah,
it.
no. That's why I
Everything
referenced TLC specifically. Canon.
Okay, well, there you go. I mean, I was talking to Aidan before about like how over here there are also a bunch of like home renovation programs my parents were addicted to after some time. We were talking about that before when we were discussing like how they could, appear much more quickly. Which now that I think about it, does mean that Aaron was at his porch for 3 days. But anyway.
I love the mental image of Aaron just stood on his porch for 3 days, just Aphmau being like, "Aaron, come inside. Do you need some like coffee or something?" And he's like, "No, I need to wait for the dad bod squad."
Oh,
It's the middle of
God.
the night, and Aphmau just like opens the door, just puts a blanket over him, and just closes it back.
Dad, so, like,
Out with it.
don't you guys need a plan?
Zane, you gotta trust us. We're professionals. I've been doing this since forever.
Dad, I just...
Shush! You called me for a reason, and now I'm fixing your problem, so just trust us. Guard!
Dad, sir!
Get to reckon
Oh, I guess he's got the whole salute thing as well. All right,
this
then.
wall, my boy!
Retro absolutely how decorate that so people in Melissa and Nicole Melissa were doing a home renovation business. Honestly, they're probably more of the same, or public relations. Melissa's more public relations. Because I don't trust any of these 5. Maybe Terry. I trust Terry a bit.
Yes, Dad! Yeah!
There you go. See, he if he were forever potioned, he would have punched through the wall, and the wall immediately. Meaning
Well, he
that
punched the
that's
door
also a
down
diverging point.
immediately. So
Yes, but actually, Aidan, we mentioned before how the door didn't disintegrate.
oh.
Yeah, I think we're getting the real diverging point here.
I mean, you're the one that pays the most rent, right?
Oh, this is going to end badly.
They
Yeah,
just
potentially.
started,
What you
they
thirst
just
through.
started smashing doors or walls. Not great.
Savannah, I swear your daughter is an angel.
Savannah.
She really is. And look, she made little sandwiches for us.
We can see them. They're on the screen. Thank you, Sylvana. Already, you've been on the screen for only 2 seconds. You're already useless.
No, it's prompting a line here.
Also, did
Okay,
someone
you know what? My judgment might be clouded a bit. Hi, Sylvana. Welcome back. I'm gonna be nice for a bit.
Was her name just pronounced as Sylvana?
Oh, no. Well, okay. Amy Kitchener's always pronounced a name like that. It's kind of like how Morgan Berry says Aphmau and everything. It's the same thing.
Aphmau.
Actually, Mom, Aaron made the sandwiches.
Ugh, no wonder they tasted funny.
You can hate her now. You can hate her now. You have my permission.
Okay. Well, yeah, they... Oh, okay.
See, they regress their character. So not only is Zach inexplicably here, leaving me questioning her relationship with Derek, and if she's even divorced from him, or what's going on there. Now she also hates Aaron. The worst of both worlds.
You know what? Actually, that kind of makes sense as well. Because if there was no like major like incorporation, issues or anything, or anything, there might not have been like the idea of like the Kawaii Treat MyStreet Cafe in the first place, or like any of that stuff. Meaning that there would never be any reason that Aphmau would actually end up having to go through that breakup, and you should never see how much Aaron actually meant to her, so she'd never have that revelation, so she'd still be in that situation there.
Yeah.
Honestly, yeah.
No, but the issue is part of her hatred of Aaron was because she divorced Zach or broke up with him. I don't know if they were canonically.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, because she was jealous that someone. Wait, no, hold on.
Because she just had Aphmau growing up, and she only. Because her father left and she valued Aphmau so much,
But she was jealous that someone was getting so close to her. But that still could apply anyway. Like empty nest syndrome.
Yeah,
still applies if you have a spouse or
but the
not.
way she talked about it is she mentioned Aphmau's father and perhaps.
I will say she at the moment. I don't know if this for the rest of the episode or not, but at the moment she's not freaking out in the same way. She's not going to like demon mode, like having a.
She's not going. Yeah.
The reaction is much more subdued, possibly because the jealousy is also much more subdued and less, just less of it in general.
Little angel could do no wrong.
I'm right here,
Excuse me, shouldn't you be over there with the dads?
I'm not a dad yet.
And why not?
What? Because
Oh, okay. Okay. Well, you know what? That's another difference. She's actively encouraging because remember, when she found out about these two dating, she tried to set Aphmau up with other people before that point, a little bit before that. But, so she's like, okay, if I'm going to have grandbabies, may as well.
She then tried to set Aphmau up with Jean when she knew she was dating Aaron.
Yep, which means once again, it seems the hatred's not as pronounced. She's like, okay, I'm not so fond of you, but I do appreciate the fact that you have the healthy DNA.
I'm waiting for the.
Don't you dare touch my daughter!
I live with her.
Oh, did you see that blue-haired woman? Do you want to know who that is? No,
I know who that is. I don't need you to tell me.
It's Elizabeth! Elizabeth
Like
here
I said,
not explained.
did Rachel just drink coffee with her eyes?
Yeah. Yeah.
Go back a second. Wait a minute.
Scandalous.
I hate this episode.
Yeah.
Oh my god, could someone shoot me?
You mean to tell me that you're living with a woman? How could you?
Yeah.
The entire timeline is falling apart and rebuilding itself.
No,
with my
but
very eyes.
timeline is
Again,
confusing.
Rachel didn't know beforehand, and there's only the holiday special that came around, and they thought they were married at first, so it was like a whole other thing. I can still, again, I can see. Well, I
No.
mean, she can't see. She has milk in her eyes, but you know.
but like, here's the thing: Elizabeth being here also throws me for a loop because she's not even focused on in this episode at all, and it annoys me
Okay.
because I'm like, Caitlin thought you were dead. What's this timeline mean? Does that mean did you divorce Eric? Are you still with Eric? What about that's where all Caitlin's anger issues came from. So does that mean her and Travis' relationship started a lot more healthily? Like,
well,
what do you
we know
mean?
it started. We know it started more healthily. She actually referred to him as her boyfriend, like way back in the day in side stories.
Well, yeah, but because they technically started dating at the end of Starlight, and that's what they were basing it off of.
Which is what we thought at the time, but now we're saying the start never happened. So you know,
But
got to adjust that a little bit.
Then you get rid of so much. I don't know. This just
that's what happens when you separate the timeline. You get rid of a bunch of characters. This is why I like What If-ery, everyone.
This
is
feels
why,
wrong
because you get to think about like how someone would have like developed or how and evolved and what different interactions would happen. This is what's happening in a culture right now. Most of our behind the scenes discussions revolve around like, okay, do people that we talk about here even exist? Are they like physically around? What's going on? One person's a human, they're a bird before. You know, there's so many different things that have changed for like one singular point. And we just said that an entire town got wiped out because there weren't enough people to defend it. So we do get these situations. You know, those are just story events, but character stuff as well. Era even said beforehand that, you know, that like they balanced the session like last time for like the version of Fred that doesn't exist. So I need to like make a whole new character sheet in that exact moment because that was never clarified. I forgot to do it also.
Yeah.
Like, also, I'm the one who branched off the timeline and no one's asking me any questions because
we know you won't tell us.
I had a plan for the timeline to begin with, and yes, I would have told you if you had asked.
Oh, well.
No, okay, I spent months on end asking people about questions behind the scenes and never getting a straight answer, so I don't know. I just assumed there was going to be no difference.
Yeah, but anyways, though, but
you know what they say about assuming. It makes an ass out of both you and me.
I think you have to say like if you assume, because assuming doesn't anyway.
But okay, anyways though, like I don't know, this just feels off, and I hate how there's so much change at once. Like so many differences.
That's another thing for like, you know, that's another
like,
What If-ery concept, by the way. If you split the timeline earlier on, things branch out much more differently. I'll say this because there's from all four of my Dragon Ball What Ifs, the changing point is different each time. I kept on going back further and further on the timeline, and more things start to change before those things happen. Most of the comments that I reply to on those videos revolve around people saying, "Oh, would this thing happen? Would this thing happen?" It's like, I don't know if these cats will even physically be born. So I don't know yet. Because that's what happens. There's going to be so many changes because you had something go on further along. That's how the butterfly effect works. More and more chaos comes in from like whenever the wings get beaten.
And like, there's so much to talk about with the changes here because I don't know, and there could be so much more interesting personality stuff that I hate isn't really touched on here. Like, okay, take Elizabeth here. Elizabeth in the main timeline is shady. People think she's dead. But you can still keep her being kind of shady and secretive and magical. You can still keep that with her being around and potentially in Caitlin's life. But we don't get any of that. I mean, I don't know. There's just so much we could do with some of these characters. Even Zach. Maybe Zach is a very awkward, not the best father. I don't know. You could at least do that. I mean, Zach's whole character was being an abandoned father. But maybe he's an awkward father in this timeline. You could do so much with these characters in an alternate setting, but it feels like they're just dumbed down into this is dad, this is mom, this is other mom. I
guess you could say that's kind of like what we hate about the Aphmau stupid Ray. This is just a culmination of all the things we hate about Aphmau dumbing down her own characters, either for the sake of reductive comedy or for the sake of equally reductive storytelling.
From my perspective, at least, I'm not firstly, I'm not going to judge Elizabeth just yet because I haven't heard her say a single line at the moment, so too early for me. But but regardless of that, if they do decide to go in that direction, and like honestly, I personally would hope that they do at some point do what Aidan just said here, but an interesting like all 10 of them basically at the same time. There was never going to be enough time to explore. It's what I keep telling, like all people like make like the pop series on Gacha. Because
If you
it's on my mind because by the way, new Disco Pops episode dropped yesterday, incidentally.
Yeah,
so,
it's
get
the
excited for
thing
that.
of if you introduce too many characters, you won't have enough time to make each one unique.
Yeah,
Okay,
so those
each
your
one time that
representatives are going to fantastic, but in conjunction with each other, then there was never going to be enough time to shine a spotlight on any of them. And if they did shine a spotlight on any of them, except for I guess like obviously Garte in this case because he's kind of driving this whole thing. That like even if they did shine on guys aside from him, there still would have been other ones be like, oh, I wish there's something with this person. Why were they even here in this moment? Which is, I guess, the direct opposite complaint about like why Kaden hasn't been around in After Dark yet, or because imagine trying to shoehorn her into this as well. She'd just be she'd be a cardboard cutout in the corner somewhere.
I think what they should in writing wise is just have it be maybe Garte, Derek, and if we're pushing it, Eric, and that way we have to explain less, and just have and maybe have Sylvana and Ziana, and that's it. Like leave it at that. Because now there's so much to explain with all these characters, and it's just
the alternative would have been to have this episode air like sometime like way later down the line, like after we've already like seen a few of them elsewhere. It's kind of like the Avengers approach of have individual movies for these characters, then have them appear together, so that once you already know what their whole thing is about, so we have to reintroduce like everything about them.
Yeah.
That either one of those would have worked.
Mom!
Don't trick with your eyes, you'll burn yourself.
One moment. Aaron, can I see you in the kitchen?
That's not your kitchen is an open space. That's not a private area at all.
A normal no peripheral hearing.
Well, oh, that's right. It's MyStreet. They don't have that. That's true.
No one has them.
I mean, Rachel's a werewolf, so she has, but the rest of them don't.
They're acting so weird.
I don't know. Rachel may not be aware of based off how the weird changes in this world. I wouldn't be surprised if they become human too.
Okay. None of the diverging points that we have suggested so far indicate that anyone's genealogy would have changed. So but until further notice, I'm gonna shelve that one specifically.
I made the coffee, but I put too much caffeine in it, and I think our moms had too much.
What?
You know what? That also explains like the big visceral reaction between them. You know what? Maybe that's it. The Aphmau ray is transmitted through caffeine. There we go.
Yeah.
New theory.
We should go to a Pitbull concert! Woo!
Oh, not Beyonce. Well, I guess I don't know. Does she do concerts anymore? I'm not sure if she does. I don't know.
I think
Woo!
At least they were very considerate in like laying all these things out. They're not just like throwing them about, which is more than I expected this episode, honestly.
Zane's ponies are on the floor.
Is Zane trying to rip off a wall?
No, trying to move his dresser.
Oh. You gotta grip further down, Zane.
Just get your brother to lift it.
No, I got it just fine.
I mean, if you said get around to help you lift it, that would have, but anyway.
Dad.
Nonsense. We need to move. Garth, lift, go.
Go.
See, there you go, Garth. Oh wait, Gus is muted.
Gar. I had it. I mean,
Once again, you know what? Silence, speaks a lot in this case. Again,
thank you.
You're not getting Daddy's approval. Daddy doesn't like you.
Okay, I've got the plans right here.
oh, so he does have plans. What was the thing before about not needing them?
Yeah, I don't know.
Blueprints?
That was...
Of course, only an idiot would start without them.
But it was
That-
so
but-
fast,
Men!
Well, I mean, just because he didn't show them to you, I guess, but I do
But you
understand.
didn't. You didn't specify you had plans. You just smashed a wall and be like, "I got this."
Mm-hmm.
Gather!
I'm guessing these are the concept blueprints for what they're going to do rather than what they had.
This is going to be nuts, but we can do it as long as we keep going, don't sleep, don't shower, and are fed tiny little sandwiches.
So,
Well, one of those things can happen.
the usual.
Ooh, yeah, I'm down! Let's go!
You know what? There you go. That mini theory as well. They had a catering team.
No,
Maybe that
Aphmau
was,
sandwiches. Remember? Aphmau
Well, I know, but when they had their home renovation thing, they
Oh.
said before they've done this before. So yeah, I don't know. if that is the usual, it implies there's more than once.
Maybe your dads are all right.
Let's go! I'm not sure about this.
I have a bad feeling about this. Maintage. Oh, he's even carry the I've never seen that. I've seen them like carry anything like that in Minecraft before.
This is like blockbuster stuff.
Zane's like, I had more planks than you. The unfortunate thing is they haven't been able to like adapt from that, you know, to yeah. Okay, so I definitely have a few more examples of what I was referring to earlier when we talk about the whole masculinity thing, but I'm gonna wait until we get to that conversation you alluded to.
Yeah.
But things are happening.
What? I'm building here!
Oh, okay, he's putting on that. You know what? See, there we go. He's more of a goofy dad this time because you know that's not his accent.
Mom and the moms took her car and sped off somewhere.
Okay, whatever, I'm busy.
Meh.
It's like, thought you ought to know. Did she? Hold on, is she barefoot? Did she just walk on wood barefoot?
No, she's wearing sandals.
Okay.
Probably shouldn't be walking on wood with sandals, regardless. But yeah.
It's slightly less bad. I am loving the non-verbal like communication between them. Now they have the movement. They actually are using all these different things to their advantage. And like, you know what? We can actually add more visual storytelling to this. That's getting my Levi drink today. Like even just those bits there. This seems like more so like what Aphmau wished Magic could have been from the beginning.
Yeah,
from
it
a visual
is.
standpoint.
It is, and I so do love the fact that they seem to know what they're doing, as opposed to most dads who try to, build a deck or something.
Oh, I was referring to that they from an editing perspective and like the idea they had the movement to begin with, but that too.
Garte is dumb though. He thought about he believed in the dishwashing fairy. He shouldn't be this smart.
Okay, he believed in the dishwashing fairy and ran a successful business. The two aren't mutually exclusive in his character, and they never were.
Oh, I can't believe this is our house.
Imagine if just like they had a bit in the montage where Aaron was just watching them.
Amazing, Dad! Thank you!
Anything for my precious
I'm pretty
Garth.
sure he's too busy focusing on the woman who hates him, the woman who hates him, and the other woman
Nah.
that, just tolerates his existence.
Well, no, the woman who hates him.
Yes,
is
Aidan-
going
yes,
to see a Pitbull
Aidan.
concert.
Yes, Aidan, I'm being reductive for the sake of comedy.
Oh. Yes.
I'm gonna use the new bathroom first!
No way! I need to climb it!
Well, hopefully there's more than one now. That was the whole point. 3 guys, 1 bathroom.
Looks like our job here is done.
Which, incidentally, now I can say this for sure. The title probably should have been something else. I imagine that, you know, honestly, Dad Bod Squad 6-7 would have been a better title.
Like, I'm pretty
So-
sure the 3 guys, 1 bathroom is clickbait to some extent.
Well, yeah.
Because of Lawrence potentially, but yeah, because I mean, it's not like the reference to, you know, number of people, 1 item is exactly there's not that much conversion in the Aphmau fan base between those 2 concepts. So definitely
Oh,
the
yeah.
Lawrence aspect was the
I was
clickbait.
about to say, Aphmau has
go.
referenced that more than once.
Oh no, she has. I just don't think that's really, you know, what most of the audience will immediately think of. Hopefully.
Oh, God.
Yeah, probably
let's
right. Yeah,
go.
let's go and move it.
Time to head back to my ladies.
Okay, I guess that is just Zach's voice now. Okay.
It's so off-putting. This is not how Zach was for the bits we got to see of him. I'm so confused.
It's probably
Yeah,
the case to where they couldn't get the original voice actor.
No,
back,
I'm
so
pretty
they
sure
had to
it's.
found
I'm
a new one.
pretty sure it's maybe it's the same voice. I think it's the same voice actor.
I mean, it's not even if that's the case. Gareth alone proves the fact that, you know, it is possible for someone's voice to change in universe drastically for some reason. All right, here we go.
Dad.
Oh, there's no
I think
conversation.
it's really, well, I don't know, but the whole.
Just say thank you, son.
Wow, so nice.
Thanks, Dad.
No problem. Anytime.
Well, that's actually nice. Surprising. You know
That
what
was
isn't
the con-
surprising?
Okay, pause. That was the conversation you've been fussing about?
No, it's not.
I'm
over.
guessing it's still going to continue. I'm guessing Zane's about to turn around right now because it's a sitcom, so of course it's going to happen.
Hey, Dad,
Yep, there we go. See?
do you love Gareth more than me?
Whoa. I don't think I've had enough root beers for an emotional conversation, son.
Why can't you say beer, Aphmau? You swore in the first one of these After Dark episodes. Why can't you say Why can't you say beer? Even I have touched on alcohol and fallen angels, and I don't even swear in that show. Come on! Oh, God.
Again, I think this is.
Yeah, I'm with you. That makes no sense.
Yeah, you're expecting a bit too much. You're barking up the wrong Cypress.
Yeah. No, you're plunging through the wrong wheat fields because wheat's made. That's how makes how beer's made. Anyway,
But I'll tell you this. Garth has always believed in me, even when I felt I was doing bad. You've always been cautious, Zane. That's who you are according to your mother. So my love is different.
you know what?
Yes.
See, him
Because he-
saying according to your mother does imply that he's mostly getting information from her.
It's also the fact that, yeah, you should have that should have been a sign that you should have gotten Zane diagnosed with an anxiety disorder literally the moment you noticed.
Well, okay, there's a world of difference between anxiety disorders and being cautious. I'll say that much.
To be fair, Zane always to me felt autistic coded. I'm gonna be honest.
I mean, that's great, but you know.
I'm coming.
Yeah, this one of the things that, you know, I've every now and then I see a few videos about like certain characters or something. It's like, yes, but it's just this person, you know, that like compilation of, you know, autistic moments from insert character from insert franchise here, or you know, or you know, like the proof that, you know, this character is, you know, autistic coded or something like that. It's like, I mean, to me that feels very similar to how how a lot of people will try to, you know, to read into like, you know, like undertones of like possible LGBTQ plus themes and stuff because they want to find extra representation. It's like, why? I mean, and I get why that happens, but also going but going to like those extreme lengths to find something that you can relate to without realizing that you can relate to people who are different to you anyway.
Like, I will
Also can lead down a spiral of, okay, now I need to seek out all these different things in other people. So like I try not to go into those aspects. Like, yeah, you can say that, but until there's any confirmation on the matter, you know, like I personally prefer not to,
like,
you know, consider that because, you know.
I would also like to
be fair.
clarify that I said the anxiety disorder thing as a sarcastic / reductive comedy thing, and not as like a serious thing.
Okay.
Like, I was being reductive for the sake of comedy because I think I find that to be funny. However, I do have a significant flat affect, and it's hard to tell when I'm being sarcastic and funny and when I'm being serious about something.
No, yeah, I get that. Most of my responses were directed towards like what Aidan said before. Yeah.
Listen, he doesn't make friends easily. Gets super obsessed with things that maybe like ponies that aren't super common for people to get obsessed with.
Unlike Aphmau's obsession, which is, you know, comparable to his, if not significantly more vast.
Actually, I would argue Aphmau's is less the thing.
Like, if anything,
according to both of them, her collection is grander.
Like, if anything, it's Aphmau who should be carrying the autism allegations.
He tends to yell and not know how to express his feelings. Sometimes he gets overly attached to people.
Hello, Coquette. Nice to meet you.
There are a lot of autistic traits in Zane writing wise that are more than just one.
Yeah. So right there, you just demonstrated the trend that I was talking about. There's definitely a problem, given like how vast it has gone to. Because like all things you just described, like in isolation, they can be perfectly like regular character traits. You know, like they're not indicating of neurodivergence, but they happen to coincide. So it's like, oh yes, of course. Therefore, these things happen.
Yeah,
and it's not just like this series. It's everywhere. And it's a spiral that people can fall into. You know, either trying to seek representation in a way that this is counterintuitive to them, or just because they believe those are the only ways that this can manifest, which is even worse.
Also, I know a neurotypical person who acts a similar way.
And also, why I bring this up is, again, for me especially, the best autistic characters are the, let's say, characters who aren't meant to be autistic. Because the characters who are meant to be autistic, in my experience, I've seen you get movies like Music, which is like grossly offensive, or you get the stereotype where autistic people are geniuses, which I'm like, we're not all geniuses. I wish we were. I wish I was a genius. I'm not that smart.
But I will also say to Jacob that looking for coding isn't exactly a problem. Like, autistic people have been underrepresented. I just don't think Zane falls into the bracket as heavily as Aidan is implying.
Yeah. The reason I think looking for coding is like that much of a problem is because it's another example of how people either try to like project other aspects of themselves onto characters that there's that you know based on that evidence without realizing that, you know, you could just like a character without having to have them represent you. Because it's one thing like I go back to in terms of, you know, when people talk about you know, all these different types of representation, not even just like that kind, but any sort of marginalized group at all, and trying to see themselves like as other media. And yeah, it is great that there are more examples of other characters nowadays that people can latch onto for those reasons. But the fact that there's a idea that you feel a need to do that in order to enjoy something to its fullest extent, that to me is tragic in other ways.
Like,
you know, it's not like there were any characters that there's in the media that I saw that, you know, remotely represented me, at least from what I was exposed to. Didn't stop me from enjoying them at all, even to this day.
Yeah, like, looking for coding should never, like, reduce the enjoyment of a thing. But as BB's saying in the comment, like, why is that a problem?
I mean, I was just saying the fact that Zane's always can come off as autism coded.
No,
I'm
I
not, I'm not,
I
I'm
know,
not
and
saying
I'm
that's the
saying
only
and I'm
reason
saying
to
that that's
enjoy
yeah.
certain characters, but it
No,
does make
no,
it,
you're not saying that. The reason I brought up other examples of other people is because that's something that happens, like, you know,
and
in a
I
grander scale.
I don't really think coding is that. I don't think looking for coding is that bad. The only time I think looking for coding is bad when people view a character a certain way, and like, and then people only say you could only view them that way, despite that not being necessarily what it necessarily is confirmed. That's the only problem with coding.
And that's an effect that happens a lot. There's a
But I
lot
mean,
when
I
people
wouldn't say that's
people talk
that's
about
all.
that, you know, like
But I
especially on
wouldn't
the
say,
internet.
I would,
Alternatively, there would be people like trust, like, you know, these things at face value, and then that you know, that warps their perception quite deceptively, kind of similar to like your complaints about certain film theories.
but I mean, I wouldn't really say that's too common of a problem here. I just bring up the fact that Zane to me has always came off as autism coded, especially when you go
Yes,
back.
I know. I've already answered this. I'm not saying that
I
you
know.
like they were saying that for that reason. What I was saying was like that's an example. That's why I'm like, okay, let's not look. That's why I was like I prefer not to look into that work, even for Zane or for in general, because of these other examples. I'm not saying that you're one of them.
Yeah, I know, but like,
Yeah,
I don't know. I mean, okay. I mean, I just thought it was kind of a weird point to bring it up because I don't know, kind of unnecessary. Like,
right now, it sort of feels, from a certain perspective, like you're bringing it up in this instance to say that Aidan is wrong for thinking what he's thinking. And not exactly the
Yeah.
point that other people are taking this the wrong way. I mean, you can have that. Yeah, you do have that there. In certain aspects, you are indeed correct. It's just within this circumstance, it's not exactly
It's not applicable.
applicable. Yes.
I mean, okay, fair enough. I mean, I was trying to, you know, be more of my commentary compared to the episode itself.
Yeah.
In fact, it's like enjoyment medium due to lack of enjoyment. Yeah, it doesn't necessarily, and in the case of what Aidan was saying, no. But what the examples that they found from other people's videos, that they certainly either they give off that vibe or they've explicitly, you know, they've explicitly come across that way. It does happen, and it's
like it does
happen. In fact, a lot of times, you know, if I can see videos of, like, you know, complaints and people actively thinking worse of certain media for not having an obvious out towards that, so if they can't dig into something, they will extract that even further. So, you know, it's just those two things to me, they come across that they're in the same way and feeding into each other. That's why I bring that up. Because it's one of the things, like, you know, in this situation, but, you know, again, for these reviews, if there's anything that, you know, like, you know, we can you know, add in terms of like our thoughts on media in general, you know, I thought I would offer my own regarding that as well.
People enjoy being loved.
No.
Never mind.
All right.
Different.
All right, so being
So I don't
dismissive
know.
towards him
Maybe you just
constantly,
need
being
to-
like, "Oh, Gareth, you just do it. Oh, out with it, boy." Yeah, no, that whole stuff in there is just like you loving him differently. Oh, I'm sorry, Gareth. I didn't know you love Zane like that. You love Garth like that too. You went out with it, Gareth. No, you don't. You don't treat Gareth like that. That's my issue with this conversation. This conversation acts like he treats them the same. You don't. You're ecstatic when helping Gareth. You're ecstatic to talk to him. You don't care to talk about.
Wait, hold on. Didn't he just say that his love for Zane is different? That doesn't imply that they treat him the same.
Talking about love. The people like love differently. Liking love differently and your love for someone differently is different. Is like people like love differently. You don't love Zane the same as Gareth. You love them differently. So it's like, it's not Zane liking love differently. It's the fact you love, I'm going to put it in heavy quotations, you love Zane differently. You don't love Zane. You don't like Zane.
Yeah, there is a disparity between Gotte's words and Gotte's actions here.
And I'm like,
it's been a thing several times where Gote has not treated Zane well for one reason or another, because it's quite obvious that Garth is Gote's favorite.
yeah, and this episode alone proves it. But again, if we're going to other sources of media, you have when Ziana told that one of their kids had a girlfriend, he immediately went to, oh, Garth is dating Kawaii or something. I don't know. It was something like that.
Okay, that makes sense. Garth actively had a much wider or just existent love life than Zane. Of course, that'd be his first thoughts.
Yeah, but or that time he didn't want Zane to go to the cabin because he would burn it down. Even though Ziana was super encouraging of him going. Like, again,
that one makes,
there's so much, like, even if that stuff isn't canon to this video alone proves that you don't love Garth and Zane the same. You clearly love them very differently, and you clearly loved Garth, but you don't love Zane.
But that's what he said. He said he loves them differently.
No, he says people love differently. Not I love differently. It's people like.
He said before, my love for you is different. I guess, I'll rewind that because I'm pretty sure that's something he said here.
But I'll tell you this. Garth has always believed in me, even when I felt I was doing bad. You've always been cautious, Zane. That's who you are according to your mother. So my love is different because people enjoy being loved different.
Okay, my love is different. He said that before that point.
Yeah. So I don't know. Maybe you just
also it's not like Zane is actively, that reacts super well to affection from most people. It would be nice to see it from his dad, granted, but I can see why from an observation point that he would go that way.
In my opinion, when it comes to affection towards me, like, you don't have to be like affectionate, but caring about someone is very obvious when someone cares about me, or at least cares about me in the, I don't know. It's just like, I can read dismissive vibes from him. Well, he's obviously blatantly dismissive in this, but like, I just hate this rewriting of his character in this last scene where it's like, no, our relationship is just different. No, it's not. I mean, your relationship is different, but it's not. But you don't like Zane. You treat him horribly. Stop pretending like you don't.
I agree with Aidan here. This does feel like
gaslighting. I'm being gaslit.
Like, because Gote has always not liked Zane in some capacity. And right now, it feels like, yes, I just love you in a different way. I accused you of burning down a burning down a cabin you would go to spite me in a different timeline.
Yeah.
Now here I'm going to talk to you like I've always loved you and that we've always had that kind of familial relationship. Don't you feel the love, my son? Wink, 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 wink. Please make me look good for the non-viewing audience.
You know, the strangest thing is that this exact conversation took place between Chloe and Audrey Bourgeois in Miraculous.
Yeah, but Audrey was clearly.
I can't.
Yeah. This is the unironic version of that conversation. Audrey
is it unironic? I mean, I don't know.
Audrey wasn't meant to be a bad person. He clearly isn't meant to be one.
Like, I will say, it's a very similar conversation coming from a very not similar place. And it's hilarious that you draw that because oh my goodness. The parallels and the non-parallels are extremely funny.
Not because I just rewatched that episode last night, it was fresh on my mind. But even then, as of 2 nights ago, even then, still would have thought, oh yes.
Or something about what you want instead of...
It's always been the case to where Gote has always appreciated Gareth more. And that Zane's cautiousness has always been seen as a trait that makes Zane more of a black sheep / pariah of the family. Please don't make me think that their relationship is different, Aphmau. You cannot, this is the best...
Their relationship is not healthy.
Their relationship is not healthy, and the fact that you're retconning it in front of my very eyes feels like you're trying to gaslight me into caring...
No, it's not even like retconning the relationship. The relationship's the same in this. but they're just Aphmau's just trying to verbally say the relationship isn't that. It's like the relationship with Aaron and Derek in the main timeline. Oh, you know,
And Silvana.
it's like you're just trying to tell us that it wasn't what it was. I saw it. I am not crazy. I saw what happened.
If you disregard the root beer silliness as implication here that maybe the first falls in level towards others, but his ability to be open without alcohol, or to be coherent in his openness.
Well, normally if people say like, "Oh, I'm too sober for this," that's what they're getting at for emotional conversations. Which honestly, don't have emotional conversations while drunk. That you got to be coherent, is my opinion. But whatever.
It comes across like much more, it much more sincere if you're sober. Not to say that you won't get more out of a person if they're drunk. It really depends, but yeah.
Or you may get people saying like stuff they don't really mean, or stuff to the extent they don't mean. Because I have a friend who has fought with his mom a lot because they have both said stuff that stuff they both really mean, but stuff they don't normally say to each other, which normally ends up in a fight.
Comparing yourself to
Yay,
God.
we love
I always
like
feel
this.
that bothers.
This episode has two people who have really terrible family issues, and then we have Jacob.
Yeah. How lucky you must be.
Yeah.
It's
you know,
just
I
the
will.
case of like we have the perspective of having family issues we can't recover from. Meanwhile, we can point at this episode and we can laugh at how it tries to change.
To justify them. To
justify them.
To be like, it's okay.
It's okay.
It's like, no, it's not okay. It's
for either of you two, obviously feel free not to answer this question, but if you can imagine confronting the source of said issues, and if they try to say something like this, would you believe them in the moment? Would you think that they're just going to scramble for a response to something here to try to save face? That's another way you could interpret this.
Oh God, no! I've
absolutely not. No.
I was about to say I've spoken with my father at length about this issue, and he has denied at every point.
That's exactly what my parents would do. It'd be great.
Like,
I can't talk to them about it. Yay.
I get that Gotte's trying to have a conversation he probably should have had with his son.
I mean, yeah, his son is like a grown man, like in his like late 20s or early 30s at this point. And like you haven't talked about it at any point. You should have talked about this like decades ago.
Like this just feels like insane. This feels not only insanely contrived, but also fairly hurtful.
Yeah.
And a message that should have been in the show proper, in my opinion, and not in a After Dark.
If it were in the show proper, it would probably have an even worse impact because we've already had to deal with, as Aidan mentioned before, Derek, and as I mentioned before, Silvana. Like, this is the thing I keep saying. Like, nearly all the parents in MyStreet are just the worst, but they're represented like they're
flawed.
They probably are trying their best, but their best is laughable in most cases. Again, Terry being the obvious exception.
Which I find kind of crazy because I feel like Aphmau should be able to write flawed parents well. Or should be
that impression? What gave you that impression?
Wow, that's insane.
I don't know, because she's an adult who has parents that at least one of them was flawed, because I know better from a drama life. So she should be able to write a flawed and complex person who is still a good person, but yet has their own issues and maybe is in the wrong with their parenting.
There are two ways that you can possibly look at, like, you know, where that failing comes from in terms of opening that in writing. One is that because of like her experiences and like what she's been told either by her parents or whatever might have led to, okay, that's the justification, as if she's been an understanding person because she absolutely is. She's portrayed that with and adapted it into different circumstances that don't quite gel as well, or well, they wouldn't gel as well in general, but you know, they're kind of from the same idea of like, you know, these things are still terrible, but they were never meant to be. The other option is that it is because, and I'm hoping this is the one that is the case. I'm hoping it's because like she is such a fantastic parent herself that she's trying her best to portray, what flaws could I have? What have I avoided doing? I'm gonna put these in here and then trying to do that, and from actually a lack of that experience. I'm hoping it's the second one.
Yeah, like fingers crossed Aphmau is a fantastic parent and that she's never had to deal with the issue of one of her children feeling ignored as compared to the other ones. Cross their fingers.
Which, seeing as she has 5 of them, would be a miracle, but you know.
It would be a miracle. As they say in Disney's Encanto, I'm hoping for a miracle.
There you go.
Yeah, also, I just thought of something. If season 4 didn't happen in this timeline, then how come Gareth and Zane's relationship is so good? The only reason Gareth and Zane's relationship is so good post season 4 was because of that traumatic experience made in a conversation because of that traumatic experience caused Zane and Gareth to realize how Gareth made Zane feel for the longest time, and
I have
made
two
them closer.
potential.
Like,
I
you
have
have
two
to
potential
rewrite.
answers for that. I have 2 potential answers for that. One is that we don't really see them being like that close to each other anyway. We know that Zane moved in out of necessity anyway before that stuff happened. They haven't really had a moment where they seem like they're that like cool with each other in this episode. So that very much still could be in effect. If it isn't, it could also be because we know, thanks to Gareth mentioning X, being the new name of Twitter, that several years have passed from that point, meaning that they could have had a chance to just mellow out after having to share a space with each other for as long as they did.
Maybe.
Go out to get coffee sometime and just talk?
Oh my goodness! Now I see why Abigail said that.
I hate coffee.
Oh, you do?
Just kidding. How about
I hate you,
I'm sore
Derek.
from all that.
Not Derek. Eric. I'll call you Eric.
I hate all of
Garte.
you.
Garte. I hate you, Garte. Don't make a joke after that moment. I still hate you. Die in a fire, please. Hope you die the way Zane fantasized Gareth dying.
That would probably be a very easy edit to do, to be honest.
That would be a very easy edit, when I unfortunately cannot do.
No, it'll be an even easier edit. Just Aaron's animation on loop while there's like the background, the sky changes behind him to show the passage of time. That's all this episode takes place.
Yeah, that works. And thanks for the renovation, Dad.
No problem. See you
Oh
later,
my-
punk son.
Yeah. See ya, Dad.
Okay, that like whimsy in his voice definitely suggests that, you know, this has all been like fixed too easily. I would have liked to. I liked him. I thought the way that I took it is like, okay, this is gonna be like a start between them, but you know, like that suggests a bigger conclusion than it really was. It really should have been.
Yeah. How to
Also,
solve,
okay, a half Minecraft hug is still not quite there yet.
How to solve years of daddy issues. Have a conversation where the root of the issue isn't even properly addressed. Thank
Okay,
you.
yeah, but yeah, I will say having a conversation about it is definitely a step behind it, but it's not the whole process. Even I know that from my lack of experience in the matter. And oh, he bought a chair. He got comfortable, so he didn't have to stand there the whole time. Let's go.
Zane and his dad are having an emotional moment.
Also, yeah, does it hug us absolutely? Yeah, you're right.
Aw, that's sweet.
What happened to all the moms, by the way?
He wasn't focused.
Oh, look at him go!
Oh, it's an actual pit bull. Okay,
Yeah.
okay.
I like this joke. This is the one joke I like in the episode. I'm so sad.
How did they set the stage up?
Oh, don't worry. There is a bit of a filter on the scene, if you could tell. So
The mum squad built in.
He looks so different than I remember.
He sounds about the
This is a
same.
dog concert.
This
Yeah,
is
it
a
was
dog.
filter. It was a filter.
A dog concert.
They're segregated concerts, obviously, for only dogs.
What constitutes a dog concert exactly? It's just a dog line. That's not a concert. Is there a performance?
Mm-hmm.
Chase it, ladies!
Also, are they not allowed to be there if it's a dog concert? Like, who are they expecting to attend a dog concert? Just other dogs.
Yes.
The reality makes less sense than the fantasy. Go back to the stage. I can process that. Oh, in different directions. Sure, okay.
I do not like this episode. They did nothing with Elizabeth at all. They didn't explain it. She's just there.
Like,
Again,
Elizabeth
time,
would never act like
characters,
that.
too many
Elizabeth-
characters. They couldn't
Yeah.
do that.
too many characters, they couldn't introduce
I
them
hate
all in any
Garte.
way.
I hate
Like-
him. Hate him.
I will say, like, I thought this episode was going to be about Zane not being a masculine man, but now
No,
that
they didn't touch on it. See what I told you? They didn't touch on it. They alluded to it
I
several
think the
times.
reason Ghosty thought that's because you gave us that impression
But-
to begin with.
Hey, hold on, I'm trying to say something here. I'm looping back. This episode was like, while masculinity wasn't a theme, family bonds was. And I can thoroughly say, wow, you whiffed this so hard, Aphmau. You've whiffed this topic so very hard. Like, it's not even the case of, the conclusion of the trauma wrapping up too quickly. It's just the case of, wow, the conclusion was drawn too quickly. Also, you didn't actually wrap up the issue.
The issue could never have been wrapped up in this episode. That's what I was saying before. It never could have been that simple.
Yeah, like, this could have been the start to a series of episodes to where they actually worked out the drama behind the issue. But no, the finale alludes to the thing being fixed. When
It
no,
wouldn't even need to have been. It wouldn't even need to have been been other
just need-
episodes.
you
It could have
just
been.
need-
It could have been a
to
case like,
start
okay,
them
they're solving it off
deconstructing
screen.
it.
Yeah.
Just start
Yeah.
them deconstructing it. Like, if you're not going to devote multiple episodes to deconstructing daddy issues, the least you could do is at least spend this episode starting the proper deconstruction before you potentially don't ever touch it again. Which is like, whatever. Like, and I don't know, it just, for me, watching this as well, it just invalidated Zane's feelings as well with the way Garte talked about it, and that annoyed me. It felt like it invalidated Zane feeling like he doesn't love him, because, like, you've given no evidence that you love Zane at all, or at least the way you've been acting at all. So, it felt invalidating, and as someone who is going through similar issues to that related to his own familial issues, it's not helping, because it drives more of a personal point home for me, where it's like, no, you're invalidating my feelings on this, which have there's a justifiable, granted, it's not because of the whole favorite thing, there's other issues attached to it. It's not about being like not favorited or whatever, but like, still, it's like,
to divorce myself and looping around to Zane, because I do know how it feels to be the second favorite. Like, it takes a lot of unpacking to get rid of that kind of thing. And that's kind of by design. Because being the second favorite never feels good. But it's just, it feels like they're a little too close after this episode. Like, it feels less like they were coming to a conclusion and more like Garte was trying to deny the fact that he treats them differently. Like, it felt like Garte denying that he treats them both very separately and intentionally keeps them at odds with each other. even though that is kind of what he does.
He didn't deny it. He actively said that his love is different.
Yeah, it's not really the same
Like
thing.
it comes to semantics here, because you can love and treat someone differently and not treat them terribly.
Yeah, ultimately, I guess, the idea is that one method worked, the Gareth one, and the other one method didn't, being the Zane one. I presume that Vlad more fits into the former category because, he seemed to feel that same way whenever we saw him on those rare occasions. Okay, so
now I know why Vlad travels so much.
Well,
Yeah.
we've all, we've seen about he has other reasons behind that, but yes. Okay, so since both of you have looked this from from the personal aspect, like you said before, I'm also here. I'll do the impersonal one because that's definitely that's definitely a factor in terms of for all three of us how we've interpreted different things. Because I've mentioned before my absolute disdain for Sylvana is not purely on in terms of it's not purely analytical. I have mentioned that I've definitely been in the position that Aaron found himself in one of my previous relationships, and the mother of said previous relationship. So it's not like I haven't seen from like one aspect of it, and also I've seen the impact on the quarter in question as well, and how that's and how that ended up being much more terrible than it was addressed to be. So from those aspects, I definitely try to be as analytical as possible with that, but I do acknowledge that like a lot of the emotional vitriol comes from that as well, which is probably why I don't have as much of a visceral reaction to the themes in this video, but I do acknowledge that that they were fumbles to the extent that you were mentioning, minus actually the masculinity sub theme, because it wasn't something that was at the forefront, as Aidan did mention.
I didn't say it was in the forefront. I said it was there, but it wasn't addressed.
Well, you said it wasn't addressed, but actually, we saw in the montage multiple instances of Zane having things like taken away from him because without him asking to, and not being able to contribute in the way that he was wanting to, and even verbally after the montage finished with the moving dresser scene, and that fed into the idea later, but it seems to have come from a similar place. And that kind of another thing that goes hand in hand with masculine perceptions is emotional detachment, which was much more of what things were leading into. Clearly, if you look at those things in conjunction with each other, you see that you see that you see the slope that they can both lead down with each other, and the fact that being actually open about it and trying to address those things was again part of the solution to both them being a problem. So from that, you could interpret the way that they went about masculinity in universe as a problem. This is what I mean when I say that these things were expressed more subtly in this, but you still get the idea, or you still get, in this case, an interpretation of what they were going for. Because since all of that was subtext, subtext by definition is going to seem different to different people, and that's why I don't mind how they download that particular aspect, because it was, as we found out after that conversation that we had, I mean the middle conversation of the video, not the conversation at the end of the actual episode, but we found out after our conversation was it did come back. It just wasn't in the forefront because, quite honestly, I don't think it needed to be.
But but also this episode could have so much better in the this episode fumbles in a way that I was thinking about it just now. Two emotional cruxes of the previous two episodes was Zane's comfortability in his relationship in the first episode, and the second one was Aaron's not feeling good enough and wanting to make Av happy. Those are two driving points here. But those two are pretty easy to convey in, I would argue, roughly the 20 minutes mark, which those 2 episodes were. But the fact that Aphmau tried to tackle pretty much lifelong daddy issues within what 20 minutes is ridiculous. It's like this is like a whole life thing. That's like trying to tackle Gareth and Zane's issues as brothers just in like 10 to 15 minutes.
Yeah, it feels a little tone deaf.
Or tackling an entire Garmau relationship in 20 minutes. Because actually, what you just said right now made me think that that's a similar complaint to what we talked about in terms of the Aphmau movies that have been coming out in isolation. Like, yeah, they have the advantage of exploring these different topics, but as we have gone into detail about in those reviews, you know, they don't have enough time to dedicate those particular ideas, and partly rely on the familiarity of the characters to, you know, do some of the heavy lifting for a lot of those scenarios, even if they are, you know, those ones are very much as alternate universes. Royal Guard Boyfriend particularly being the most prominent example as of recently for us. There've been like multiple others I want to get back to at some point.
This episode, in all kinds of regards, hits too close to home, and like that can work if tackled well. Because honestly, I do enjoy, like, part of why I enjoy Buffy season 6 is the way it tackles Buffy's depressions and the way she's feeling and how she's going about things, and how, in many regards, she does irresponsible stuff just to feel sometimes. I like that aspect. But that's because it's tackling a serious subject in a way that's well written. But this is tackling a serious subject that hits too close to home in a terrible way, and it makes it hurt more.
As you've said right there, Buffy season 6, it wasn't a single episode thing, so I think it does come down to the runtime as a thing as well.
Well, yeah, but also even just going off each episode, like her feelings and Once More Feeling, like those scenes just feel so good. Well, they hurt bad, but they feel good. It's complicated.
Once More with Feeling was very much and exposing everything that they were feeling through the medium of music. It is my favorite episode of the entire series, but of course, the musical format was what allowed that kind of vulnerability to become present in the first place.
You can even argue stuff like Smashed or Wrecked also does a decent job at like exploring those kind of feelings. Not Wrecked as much, because Wrecked explores more addiction, and not that doesn't personally hit for me.
Beer Bad also, you know, talks about addiction.
Oh, Beer Bad is such a bad anti-alcohol,
but it is consistently rated one of the worst episodes,
and
as it is for that reason.
It's goofy and bad. It's goofy and poorly written.
Yeah, but and attempting to do all of those things in one episode, which, you know, that's why it seems like here. Yeah, once again, the part of the limitation is coming down to the format, because you could say, you know, you could say it's the writing ability behind it, and maybe it is that, but I can picture if they had tried something similar to this, in a full length season, even a half length season, actually, it could have come across. It could have come across a lot better, because they could have built it up so much more. If it's talk about like terms like many relationships, Zane and Gareth, as you mentioned, season 4, that was like a thing that was going on through most of the actual
whole show.
Were actually good. Yes,
the whole show was going on.
Yeah,
well, the only things that actually happened in the earlier parts of that season.
Like, if anything, I guess you could say my problem with the mending of fences in this episode was the fact that it felt a little unceremonious. Like, familial relationships was a theme in this episode, and you can clearly tell that was intended. It's just the way the episode wrapped up was maybe less coordinated and didn't feel written well.
Mm-hmm.
What I'm saying, or I'm trying to say politely, is that, girl, you fumbled the bag. You fumbled it so hard.
She thought she was writing some like Shakespearean, emotional, in-depth story when she was just writing.
I wouldn't go that far.
When she was just writing hot fan fiction trash.
hot dad pod fan fiction.
Yeah.
Which actually, speaking of that,
they don't even have dad pods.
I am still going to reserve judgment regarding how the other characters have been, introduced, because their moment will come. Or their moment, you know what? I'll amend that statement. Their moment will hopefully come.
I was like, we don't know that for a fact, Jacob. That is not confirmed or denied.
Okay. I mean, look. That we got like 2 of these episodes in such quick succession does suggest that they are working on more of this story overall. So yeah, we'll potentially see a little bit more as that's if that continues to develop. Because otherwise you would be right that having this be the only way we see Elizabeth from now, or like as an extreme example, but also Zach and some of the others, it does raise a lot of questions right now. But as I said with Siren Story, what the heck, with Mermaid Tales, different aquatic theme series. As I said with Mermaid Tales, the fact they're raising questions towards the beginning isn't bad in of itself, as long as those get covered later on. And they did with Mermaid Tales. Or they are still covering them.
Mermaid Tales is inherently serialized. This isn't that serialized. I mean, there's some serialized elements. Like, I assume there has to be a serialized element, because obviously it changed this episode. But like this show isn't inherently serialized like Mermaid Tales, so you can't exactly give that exact comparison yet, unless we start seeing more serialized elements and more plot threads being drawn and so on.
The equivalent would be more frequent appearances of the other characters, so we can explore them in those aspects. If it isn't like super serialized, that would be the closest comparison in that sense.
Like I was about to say, I mentioned this to Jacob like eons ago, but I mentioned to him something called the Aphmau cycle. And it's that Aphmau will sometimes write something serious and then pivot to something funny and hilarious.
People call it the Joss Whedon cycle, but yes, that too.
I call it the Aphmau cycle because I say with Aphmau that it's a bit more prominent.
Yeah.
That sometimes when she's writing something serious, she'll lose steam and hand it off to someone else. And then go write something funny to kind of balance it. And sometimes quit one of her series halfway through in order to not deal with it.
Which is similar to, case in point, Emerald's Secrets being, the part where Jason took over as writer.
This is another thing of the Aphmau cycle just taking an effect, but taking that effect very crudely. Because she is trying to go somewhere more serious with Aphmau After Dark. Incrementally. She's trying not to overwhelm herself with dark writing until she gets to, obviously, the dark thing that's on the horizon that we will not mention right now.
Yeah. The fact that we're having these conversations at all regarding all of these different serious issues, personal or otherwise, definitely does show the difference between them. Not they weren't present, in other examples, because, like I said before, season 3 is still one of my personal favorite seasons of MyStreet, and that definitely went in that direction, but only after a certain point. That's that's how I would compare it to. But in this case, the individual episodes in season 3 don't necessarily all lead immediately into like this big idea, or this big commentary event. But yeah, like as Kosi said, the difference is that those episodes do. The shopping craze from last time, the familial issues this time, and masculinity is something this time. There's definitely a sense like, okay, we're trying to escalate these ideas, explore these themes. Maybe because the audience is older now, and that seems to be the way they might go about this. Maybe this was some other ideas that were had before, or that's just a difference because Jess has been so starved for maturity in writing that it's all coming out at once. Similarly
Aphmau, honey, I don't blame you for being starved. You're you're the one who's starving yourself.
It's like that one episode of Gumball where he like has to like hold back all of his venom because all of his different comments are that is coming across negatively. So he just like holds it and he starts to like actually poison himself and then actually just like vomits it onto I think it was Leslie in the episode. I don't remember exactly, but yeah,
I think
it's just that
Tobias.
idea. Oh, it was Tobias. Yeah, actually, that makes sense as well.
He started becoming the main character apparently.
Oh yeah, no that's it. Yeah. Oh, that was Simo. So that was the sitcom. Yeah. Yes, but that's so like that. But it all came out at once and just decimated him basically. That's kind of we as the audience are the Tobias in this situation. To a certain degree.
And also this episode, I'm kind of sad that we didn't get more Lawrence. Because this is like Lawrence's first major role out, or at least a version of MyStreet Lawrence. I know it's not like actual MyStreet Lawrence. MyStreet-esque Lawrence. This is our first time getting to see him in a while. And I kind of feel underwhelmed because he kind of just felt like Garth's sideman, which in a way he always was post season 1, essentially, because they stopped pursuing Aphmau, so he just became Garth's sideman at that point. That's all he really was.
Yeah.
But it's kind of sad because I don't know, I feel like we could have did at least something more of Lawrence or something. Because Zane has had so much focus in these 3 episodes. Because in the first episode, the whole reason they were running the D&D session the way it was because Zane didn't take Quiet-Chan on a date in 3 weeks. And Zane was having issues with his comfortability in his relationship with Quiet-Chan. The second one, he was helping Aaron the whole time, and while it was at Aaron focus, Zane was a major part of that the whole time. He was like working off Aaron the whole time. And this episode, he was working off his father and Garth to a certain extent the whole episode. So it's like kind of weird how this show is just emphasized Zane to this extent. I would have emphasized Garth or Lawrence in this episode more and not had the whole familial issues. I would not touch that, but
in a way, I don't I kind of feel bad this was flopped so badly, but I also really don't.
I'm glad they tried to address it because if it was left unaddressed, it would be another point where okay, what something needs to be done about Zane and Garte in general. They can't just continue like this forever. The fact that they at least attempted to address something, the first step is always acknowledging there is a problem.
I just hate being so negative with this because I'm sure there are tons of Aphmau fans out there that got tons of enjoyment off this video and the sheer fan service of having all these characters on screen with each other.
I enjoyed some aspects of it.
Not all of it,
But I hate how I can't enjoy it. I hate that. I hate how I can't just be like, okay, this may be kind of problematic and kind of poorly written, but I love it anyways because the thing is, we can go back to the Mermaid Tales or the other Aphmau After Dark episodes. I have still enjoyed those, even if you guys didn't enjoy them in the moment. But this episode, I could barely find anything to actually hold on to most of the time. Then I'm like, okay, I may have an issue here, but at least I really like this one character. I really like this one element. I couldn't even do that. I couldn't even just pretend I liked it. I'm not that I pretend I like anything, but I couldn't even be like, okay, I can see how that element's bad, but here's 5 other elements of the episode that are really good.
I'm going to be the opposite. There were parts of this episode that I liked, actually. Aphmau has clearly improved visually, and in some regards, she has stepped up her craft.
That got my Levi drink from early before you joined back.
Yes, thank you for that, and I'm sorry for disappearing for so long.
Oh, it's all right. Don't worry about it.
My God, that entire several minutes was just a blank.
Yeah, it actually wasn't that long.
But there are also other aspects I liked of this episode. You say you don't like the Dad Squad, meanwhile I do like this collection of characters together. Sure, Aphmau feels more familiar with her estranged father from another timeline, but that could easily be explained as weirdness, all the weirdness that comes with having a different timeline in the first place.
Yeah. It's like I said, it raises questions, and until until they, until they prove they're not going to address them at some point, that's not going to come back as an aspect. I'm not going to judge it and say, and say that it was bad at the way that they handled it, because it's still in progress.
Like, and I can't even say that this episode is completely bad in its like execution of all of the things it was trying to achieve, because well, I'd say that this episode, I wouldn't watch it again on my own personally. It wasn't bad enough that I would condemn it to the pits forevermore.
No, yeah. Which honestly, like what you just said there sums up my experience with a lot of like modern Aphmau content reacting with Aidan. I'm usually doing what you're doing, which is to say that I don't condemn it to the pits. Meanwhile, Aidan is reenacting the Zane fantasy regarding Garth and lava with the video.
Oh god, I should actually take that clip and actually try to edit that eventually.
But
yeah,
I will...
it's like I had fun watching the alternates, for example. Maybe part of it is because we were constantly cracking jokes about it the whole time. That's probably a huge element.
Oh yeah, no,
I'm
you
not
gotta
gonna
take
lie.
it. Yeah, like these people take the alternates like dead serious. By the way, like I've seen people talk about the alternates, they take it dead serious. Like not in like a haha, it's kind of funny. It's like this is a very serious academic show that is just really good and so deep and so great. I love it. And I'm like, I don't know how you could look at that show and go think of that highly. I could understand maybe liking it as a guilty pleasure, but liking it to that extent, I'm like, that's a little weird.
What are you doing?
That's a little weird.
Have it be guilty.
Like, personally, it is my guilty pleasure. Because as a fan of analog horror back when it was a thing, I know all of the stuff that Aphmau is trying to lovingly reference and, just kind of missing the mark of why it was scary to begin with. But that's neither here nor there. I'm not going to throw the baby out with the bathwater in this instance.
I feel like every single video that we watch, except for like Mermaid Tales, maybe, is just us talking about like how we commend Aphmau's efforts, but how like the bat got fumbled. We keep doing this.
Like that's like I will say with alternates, I know everything that she's referencing. To loop back to what I was trying to say. Sorry, Jacob. Is that she's actually handled analog horror pretty well in some regards. Like with the alternate series, I not only commend the effort, but I applaud the effort because it's actually very well done in some cases. Sure, it is a little confusing because I'm not up to speed with the Aphmau SMP, because I kind of view it as mediocre kids content, and
I don't think you
I
need to
haven't
be.
exactly.
I don't think you need to watch Aphmau SMP to get that.
Technically, you should, because it kind of just assumes all these characters and know their dynamics. It kind of just assumes that without actually explaining it.
But we already acknowledge the fact that the dynamics are slightly different.
Yeah,
it's weird. We're not gonna.
Aphmau SMP is just weird in general, and they do change things up from time to time. Sometimes Aphmau is adopted by Zane KC. Don't ask me why, it just is. Or she adopts herself. She just do that too. It's weird. She adopts herself.
AKA she emancipated. Why? No, I understand perfectly why. Her mom is a nut job.
Mm-hmm. See, personal bias aside, Sylvana still sucks.
Yeah.
But
I don't know. Sylvana got better in season 5, and that's what kind of sucks with that one scene in Sylvana, because I felt like Sylvana progressed in season 5. She did kind of regress in season 6, but that was also on a certain level slightly more justifiable because she did see Aaron murder people, but also she should know better because of the situation. But it's complicated. It's complicated with her in season 6.
You could even argue that Garte attempted the same thing in the first episode, trying to get his family out of things, but the way that he phrased it, saying this is a liking problem, not a Remaeve problem. We can leave whenever we want, even though Ziana's saying no one can leave, so how's that even going to happen? But yeah, of
Yeah.
course, you could argue that was because he was, concerned for his family's safety, and that being his first priority. In fact, I think that conversation was directed to Zane, I think. So
No, it was directed towards Ziana.
Oh, okay. Well, there you go.
But-
started with a Z. I was close.
But just in general, I do hate how they did kind of regress Ziana. I think Aphmau genuinely thinks the way Ziana acts towards Aaron is not Ziana,
Sylvana. Yeah.
Sylvana. The last part of their name sounds exactly the same, but
Yeah.
Like you could say you could say the same about the dads, ironically.
Which I'm honestly surprised that she would find that funny, because I don't think Jason would find that funny based off what Jason said in like some of the Everything Wrong that that assumably is his relationship with.
I think the idea is
that's
to
his actual
laugh through the
mother.
pain. I think the idea is that is to laugh through the reality and to and to emphasize like the absurdity of that. Because I mean that is one way of coping with these kinds of things, is to find the humor within them. That's where a lot of comedy comes from anyway.
And again, Elizabeth didn't even need to be here. She didn't really say much or do much, but I hate how she is here and how she's I know she was like caffeinated or whatever, and I guess that's like a metaphor for being on crack or something based off how they were acting. I'm gonna be honest. They were on some sort of drug based off the metaphor there.
Yeah,
I know they boiled it down to caffeine, but still.
It seemed like it was more of a hallucinogenic rather than a stimulant, which is ironic because caffeine is a stimulant drug. But anyway.
Yeah, but regardless, I think Elizabeth, even without the darkness, could be an interesting character from the bits we have with her in season 5 and 6, because cold, calculating, pretty straightforward, is a witch. I feel like you could get some pretty interesting stuff. Although I would argue, and she was not really used in this episode despite being here, so I just probably wouldn't have included her. It would have made things a lot simpler. But
it wouldn't have just made things a lot simpler, but it would have reduced the cast numbers so that we could actually, focus more time on the other prominent moms.
Yeah, and also thinking about it though. I think what's her name? Elizabeth. I said her name. Elizabeth can be interesting, minus the whole like demon warlock stuff. The thing is, I don't know if Zach is an interesting character, minus the whole divorced dad abandonment stuff for Aphmau, because granted we don't really know him too much, but for the bits we get in this episode, he doesn't seem like that interesting of a character. He just seems like a like overly supportive dad, which is a very uninteresting character thing, especially when you compare it to some.
You know what? It's a breath of fresh air in MyStreet. I'll say that much.
I guess, but it's not a really interesting character. And like, if again, it's like taking away some of the character's pain. It's like in Fallen Angels, if you took away Helen's backstory and Helen's pain, Helen would be a significantly less interesting person without her backstory and care and like the details about her, like her past. Like if just like, oh yeah, she grew up with like a normal family, like a normal mom. Everything was normal.
But
significantly less interesting.
Yeah, well, I mean, she probably wouldn't have even been involved in the series to begin with, because again, by what if logic, she'd have no reason to approach Alana in the first place and try to set the trap or anything.
Yeah.
We also wouldn't have the DeviantArt gays.
Mm-hmm.
Wait, they're on DeviantArt?
No, I think that was more.
I'm being reductive for the sake of comedy.
I was confused. I was like, "Wait, there's art of them out there? Where?"
before you said the word gays, I was like, "Oh wow, we finally got 400 fan art after so many years."
I don't know if I want like DeviantArt like Rule 34 kind of stuff with them.
No, not necessarily, but it would be nice to see some fan art in general.
It's like how I view Scooby-Doo characters. I don't like them being sexualized. It weirds me out. I'm like, yeah, no, I don't want to think about it like that. Please keep it away from me.
You hear that, BB? No more saying humana in a cotta.
I mean,
I mean, BB's
Scooby-Doo is their own entity.
like,
It's just a whole new entity. It's not even really
Yeah.
Scooby-Doo. It's like a weird. It's like Scooby-Doo, but it's really not Scooby-Doo.
Scuba, and that's why I constantly call Scooby Scuba-Doo instead of referring to Scuba to Scooby, because those are
I did
totally
see you put that in the
two
first
different
intro, yeah.
conversations in my mind. In my
But
mind, those
yeah.
are two different, very similar-looking characters.
But yeah, I don't think Zach, without his specific backstory and dynamics that he could potentially have Aphmau, is an interesting character. Without them, he essentially becomes Silas from the Mutant Girl. He essentially becomes Silas, which I would like if I'm like being like, oh yeah, I want to see a character. I'm not gonna be like, okay, I would say I want Silas just because I want lines, but that's the only reason I say I want Silas, because I want lines, and I do like parents being involved.
Yeah,
in their
you have
children's lives.
You have
Or, like-
compared that point. So I guess this next thing is going to be rich coming from me, because you have made that comparison with Silas and Geneva to a certain extent, but Geneva obviously has Geneva got like a few other like interactions that Silas didn't.
She has more interactions, and she at least has her thing going with scrapbooking. So she's at least a little.
Yeah. So So okay, but the point is, yeah. So even with that context, it's gonna sound rich from me, but but basically the way to counteract that would be to the lack of like the darkness or things that made it interesting before is what do you replace that with?
And that
because
is nothing.
Yeah.
Apparently.
Well, okay, but it's currently nothing because, as we've mentioned before, the amount of cast members didn't allow for that to happen. The focus was elsewhere. That's why to me, seeing all these characters here, I mean, aside while I do maintain it, and I agree with you that but maybe way better to like keep the focus on the three guys dealing with the one bathroom, as the title implied in the first place. But the fact
honestly, it would have been such a good like episode plot where it's just like them going through the day-to-day lives and actually trying to stand each other because they're like getting really cramped with each other.
Similarly to Mole Day in season 3, actually.
Yeah,
but
maybe an incident happens where it's like someone gets stuck in a tree and they have to work together, and through that they all bond and they're like, hey, maybe we all should be more chill with each other. I don't know. Simple stories.
Yeah, I don't think they'd all get stuck in a tree, but I mean, I don't know.
I don't know something. There's ninja babies.
Yeah, which means they probably wouldn't get anyway. Yeah, so what I was getting at is like, while I do maintain that would have been better for like this episode in general, the fact they didn't choose these characters, this is the thing, like, because you've like viewed that as more so like, how much of like a negative impact it had on like this particular episode, as if that's going to continue. But for me, seeing them all in this place and all the confusions around them and everything, I actually really like the potential behind us. Like I'm excited to see what they could do with that. Like, okay, there's a new interaction now at this point. Okay, what's that like? It's like Upside Down stories back in the day. That whole series revolved around the idea that things were different to a certain extent. The friendship still remained largely the same because it was upside down, but still. But the fact that there is something here now. Okay, we've got the home renovation aspect that that means that there's a point of bonding. What else is different? That makes you wonder something. It makes you curious about like the series in general, about what could actually happen. The same way that we did it when the series was first airing, we didn't know what was going to happen either. So there's a few elements of like actual questions that we can latch on behind, and that hasn't been the case for many years in terms of MyStreet. So
MyStreet has been on for a few years,
which is why there haven't been examples of that. Like, everyone who's watching MyStreet now is either watching it in retrospect like we did, or is just like rewatching it in their own time in general. So it's all retrospect, really, except for the people who watch only 5 years later. I know that some of you watching this right now only seen MyStreet through 5 years later, which not the intention, of course. Do support the official release, but that's but with those exceptions, there's been no novelty, there's been no lingering ideas, and after season 6 kind of revolved like precisely around that idea, the idea, the fact that things have changed right now, You know, I honestly invite far more than I condemn.
I don't know. I mean, I think Aphmau could recover from a video like this. For me, it's just for me at least. It would have to be whatever the next MyStreet After Dark episode is, if it's good or not, or if I like it or not.
I don't know if it's the next one or not, but it could like come back.
Well,
over the series
not in the next video, but like whenever the next episode of this, whenever that happens. It'll depend on if it redeems the show for me or not. It probably will, on the basis that I assume Aphmau won't be touching familial issues, or at least in this way again.
Well, if we're talking about this being a one and done, then I guess the silver lining is that will not come up again.
Yeah, but it just sucks how like this generally could have been such a good, you could generally get, like, again, you said earlier in the stream, a half a season or a season worth of development between their bond and exploring it and developing it,
or even just the acknowledgement that something is happening behind the scenes, because obviously they're not the main characters.
Yeah.
Even then, just the idea that this was not the end point.
Yeah, there could have been generally like Aphmau got it right with Zane and Garth's relationship, with like talking about the issues between both of them, and the issues Zane had with Garth that were, for the most part, in previous seasons, played up for jokes and not treated as serious as maybe Garth should have been more considerate of Zane's feelings, and maybe realize how he's been feeling this whole time, and not, been kind of, but like they didn't, Aphmau managed to recover for that. I feel like Aphmau wanted to do a similar thing, but just speed run it with this video. She just wanted to speed run a similar idea.
Yeah, that's the movie effect.
Yeah, well, at least movies have more time. Movies aren't 20 minutes, unless it's a short film.
Which I guess kind of like, further amplifies the problem behind them. The fact there's already a problem to begin with, and we're shortening that even further, you can see the issues behind that.
It just sucks because, like, the show, MyStreet After Dark has been hitting. The past 2 episodes have really hit, and this episode just really missed. And I hate that, because, like, I don't know. I mean, I don't go into things wanting to suck or them to suck or anything. I'm not.
You're not the alpha sisters watching Miraculous. That's something, yeah.
Yeah, because deep down, I want everything to be good, and like when I get disappointed, I really do get disappointed. But like at the same time, it's like I look for the good in things, and then when things don't give me at least enough good, because again, there were a few moments I liked the ending. I thought that was funny. It was weird, random, but kind of funny. And while the Sylvana bit was a bit frustrating, I thought it was funny how what's her name? Aaron's mom said scandalous. Rachel. I mean, she did drink kind of weird, but it's also Minecraft, so it is.
Yeah, no, that was me being mean. That was definitely the drink through the eyes.
But I thought that was kind of a funny bit there. And I thought the opening scene was brilliant. I thought, what else?
With Aaron drinking coffee while standing on the porch. Yeah.
I thought the bit where Aphmau was like, "Oh, my dad's here," and she went outside and it's like, "Oh yeah, he's flexing," and then she's like, "Oh yeah, I don't want to see that." I thought that was funny too. How she just walked back inside after that, be like, "Yeah, no, I'm not seeing that." Again, there are these glimmers, but most of the episode is spent between Garte, Zane, and the boys working on the house. Which, by the way, we didn't even get to see inside the house. Which, Renovation 101, I would have liked to see inside the house. If you're going to have the characters canonically change something, I want to see the before. We saw the before, and now I want to see the after. We just saw the exterior shot after. We didn't see the interior after.
I might not have seen any home renovation shows on TLC, but I've seen enough of them from over here to show that yes, that is absolutely what they do all the time. In fact, these are go like room by room and show the improvement behind it. If they brought like a camera crew and turned this into like an actual show presented by Melissa, for example, or whatever, then that would have they could have done that.
I don't know.
Melissa presents Dad Bot Squad 6-7. That being the name of the series. And
Oh,
that's just they go
God.
about doing like the cooking show in season 3, which is one of my
And again,
favorite
this
episodes
episode
overall.
also had issues with, in my opinion, at least having characters act kind of out of character. Like Derek, this is not a thing Derek would do. Derek would never manually work on a house himself.
Actually, I don't know about that. He really got into the spirit of things, with the whole Christmas tree angle from the holiday special.
I mean, yeah, but like, I don't know if that's enough to be like where he would like be so unwilling to get help from others with like hiring people. Like,
If we're going with the angle that he is not like the business tycoon that he was presented as before, and he was potentially a bit more grounded in like how things went, and he had much more of an equal footing with the other 4 dads, that potentially could be like the way that he would act in situations under that environment, nature versus nurture.
Maybe, but then we also have like Terry, who again was a businessman.
But most of them were businessmen to
Well,
one
yeah,
extent or the other.
but Terry never gave that implication that he did it. He was a professor originally, but then he became a businessman, or was a businessman, then became a professor, according to Phoenix Drop High, and then became a businessman again for Starlight.
One of the only times that they acknowledge their retcons in the series.
Something like that, but like nothing gives the implication that Terry would do that. Zach is possible, but Zach is possible. I mean, he's a werewolf, I guess, and werewolves seem to be very, very physical.
Yeah. Well, we'll see. This again, like what I'm getting at, because like because we didn't see that much with them. I'm still curious about if they're going to delve into like why, or at least like what the changes actually are, and then let us figure out why. Because as a semi-retired Aphmau theorist, I can definitely that's my bread and butter right there.
And when it comes to character writing, especially, I personally hate having characters all be samey with their vibe, because like all the men just kind of felt like they blended together at the end of the day, which if you go back, which they never really felt like they blended together, because they all felt like they had their own personality or their own distinctions where they wouldn't be exact copies of each other. And again, that is not great when your characters are all blending together into like a amorphous blob of dad bod at 67 or whatever, dad bod squad.
Yeah. Given how Aphmau tend to write the show back in the day, there's a chance that their new dynamics and their new personalities haven't been fully worked out yet. I would say that should also add that.
Yeah, but it just it's just not great. And even in all the moms kind of blended together eventually at a certain point. Like the moms just kind of felt like a unit. That oh my god, wait, Jacob, they're the hive mind police. They're both they're two separate hive minds. Oh my god, Jacob.
Okay, if people don't get that, watch the latest couple of episodes of Missions of Occulta, because the hive mind police, weirdly enough, come up as once again a sub theme within they're a recurring plot point. Yes, that's the better description.
Oh, but God, they just kind of feel like they're an ensemble in a play, despite being distinct people, or allegedly meant to be distinct people at one point. And I don't like that aspect of it, because like Aphmau feels distinct, Aaron feels distinct, Lawrence, Gareth, Zane don't feel distinct. So does Garte. He feels distinct from the dad squad. He still has his own aspects, but the rest of
because he got the focus. If it had been the other dads who got the focus, they would have been the ones that stand out.
I mean, I guess Zach had a little more focus, but not much.
Not much. Again, I don't. Yeah, I barely count that. Although I'm curious about his new accent.
I don't know. I'm just.
Yeah.
In many regards,
this is what I'm talking about. This is what I'm saying. You being curious about it is different to like condemning the fact that it's changed. That's why that's what I'm getting at. Yeah.
I don't know. I mean, A, it's a less interesting dynamic by having them stay together potentially, and B, if that's not the case, I need that explained. But also, the way Aphmau handled this, I don't know if I want to see an episode where she has Sylvana and Zach talk about their maternity issues, in After Dark specifically, if it's going with the way they talked about Zane.
Well, if there weren't
and-
any issues, then there'd be no need.
Yeah,
for a
no,
scene
but
like this.
if there are still meant to be marital issues there, prior marital issues or lack of, you know, I rather, if based off this episode specifically, I wouldn't want Aphmau talking about it in this show.
You know what? I honestly would, because that was just, if there are marital issues between the two of them, that implies that in this reality they either resolve some of them, or or Sylvain decide to to stay with Zach regardless of them.
Don't say
Both
someone
of which
cheats on
invite
you.
which invite a whole of all possibilities as to what exactly either she knows, what exactly actually happened this time, what this is in question. Again, all those other things could be like different avenues. So if they did explore those things, I again would be curious to know what they're going to go with, because there would have to be, for such a headstrong character as Sylvain, despite but that's one thing I have to give her credit for. If she were in that situation and those things were still happening, I would want to know what made her in this version decide to stay.
I mean,
Or
yeah,
to not
but
come out, whatever.
yeah, but like, if this was regular MyStreet, I'd be like, okay, fair enough. But this is After Dark, which is meant to be essentially one-off episodes, more comical in nature, with that kind of resolve themselves at the end. So the unfortunate reality is, I don't think that works in this context, unless you were to transform MyStreet After Dark into a super serious show.
Oh, that was all purely hypothetical. I don't think
Yeah.
they do have those
I
marriages
don't
at
think-
all. I'm just saying, I was humoring you that if they do have those issues, I want to know what they are and how they dealt with them.
Yeah, I don't think
But
that
they probably don't have them to begin with.
Yeah, but like, again, like, it's just like, in general, this show is not the kind to have that conversation for what it assumably is trying to be. Not that I think Aphmau as a writer can't do that kind of writing. I mean, this episode isn't giving me confidence right now, but we ignore that part for a minute. But at the same time, I think if Aphmau, there's a possibility Aphmau can do that kind of writing, and she has did that kind of writing well in the past. But it's in a completely different environment that I don't think that this show isn't going for, unless, again, you change the premise of what you wanted to go for with After Dark. Initially.
This is also another possibility that they aren't together, but Zach was more present. Yeah, that's true. They could do that as well. They could.
Yeah, but I don't know. And again, the changing of characters' backstories also just kind of ruins it. Again, I feel like Aphmau being raised by a single mother and having kind of daddy issues is an interesting angle. So is like Caitlin's anger issues coming from the death, quote unquote, of her mother. It's just
It doesn't depend. I don't think in side stories we never see her like actually having any anger issues, really. So that could either be gone, or that could have been, again, if she does have them, that could manifest from something else. If so, from what? That's again, that's why I like these questions, because I haven't had like these many questions or these many like uncertain things since the show was airing. That's why it feels like so much like, yes, MyStreet's back. All right, that kind of thing. So I relish the fact that we are like opening up these things. And I know that in the past, obviously, things like Aphmau's job, Caitlin's the Caitlin's like, dismissive attitude, like, well, she was gonna say something else not regarding just her mum, and like that one episode of Love of Paris when Nara interrupted them. Things like that have gone unanswered for 10 years. That still like, wounds me, but there were other things in the show that did get addressed, that did end up finding some answers, and the ones that didn't find them, that's where Aphmau Theories came in, and I'm never going to complain about the fact that those exist, because that's what my channel started taking off. So I'm not gonna knock that.
I mean, again, like, it's kind of like my thoughts of like, I don't know. I don't like using just speculation to like base something off of, on the pure basis that I want to hear what the actual writer has to say, even if I end up later being like, yeah, Aphmau, that doesn't make sense for what you said earlier. I at least like to hear what the writer says it is before you know, and like what the official answer ends up being. Because even if I come up with a better thing, trust me, I feel like in many regards, for like I can come up with better fixes for certain MyStreet issues at certain moments. But like still, it's like
that's a very double-edged sword, though.
Yeah.
The author's word being power is a double-edged sword, because that's where like the concept of death of the author comes in, where like, you know, people's interpretations are just as valid whether one was presented or not. Some people like the idea of like authorial intent, but then with authorial intent you get situations like J.K. Rowling's Twitter accounts, for example. Before that turned into what it turned into, it was mostly the meme used to be that there were so many different like other additional aspects that were not required in the series. Or you could also say, there's the video I watched recently about Miraculous, where people were complaining about the fact that most of people's explanations for like the big concepts of the series come from Thomas Astruck's Twitter account. So again, it depends on like how you go about that, because like relying too much on just that idea and not on your own conclusions is not it's not only it's not only productive for the series, but it's also less fun sometimes.
Yeah, but but also what the creator says does matter, even if they're saying
if they say something, by all means listen. But you know,
yeah.
although
J.K. Rowling, I will note that real quick. Important.
I mean, I feel like that goes without saying. If I mentioned that, if I said that every time I brought her up, it would just get redundant.
Yeah, redundancy. I like redundancy. Do not watch the HBO show when it comes out. Everybody hear me? Do not feed into it. Please.
I'll be honest. She's already been paid for that. You know, that's it. That's those things. Like a licensing fee, they always do that kind of thing.
Do not reward them for doing it. With your eyes and attention, and ideally merch. Do not buy the merch. Do not buy her merch. She does get pennies from that, and
I do wonder, like, I don't wonder what kind of like merch they will try to like adapt from that.
Oh, I wouldn't be surprised if they just sell the new merch, but just put the new logo on there, or because I wouldn't be surprised if they do that. Anyways, though, onto this. Okay, I don't know. Other than this video is just not great, in my opinion. I think the show has been solid so far, but this episode dropped the bag completely. The bag has been kicked out the window. Kicked the baby out the window.
I will say that is a common trend in MyStreet also. Because I keep saying it's normally episode 6 of the long series.
This is episode 3, though. This is episode 3, though.
Which, you know what, does suggest that After Dark is going to have like half the runtime. But no, but no, that does tend to happen at some point. Although usually it happens after, you know, like a solid line of like episodes that I consider to be like mostly flawless. But you know, that's again differences there. But the trade-off is that even if like things like, you know, feel like less effective towards the middle, or like most of the episodes that I deem to be like, you know, really bad in MyStreet are towards the middle of the different seasons, except Emerald Seek, where they're all mushed towards the beginning for most of it. You know, that the trade-off is that you know, those things pick up towards the end, except Falcon Claw. The Falcon Claw was solid from the start, and then trashed itself.
Slowly died midway through. Like I would say, episode 20 onward, like around episode 20, like episode 21, the show just started going downhill.
I would say for both seasons, for seasons 2, 3, and most of 5, give or take a couple of bits in between that are some of my actual favorites. All 3 of those, you know, start off strong, trail off towards the middle a bit, and then pick up at the end. So the fact that we're getting, you know, the fact that there's a bad episode mounts in the lot, you know, I'm not overly concerned about for the bigger picture, mostly because I'm now curious about what the bigger picture actually is. So
I mean, I assume the bigger picture is just going to be random adventures that air till Aphmau actually makes season 7. And then she's going to probably forget about the show or continue it post MyStreet season 7 ending until season 8 comes out. Would be
Yeah,
my
no,
guess.
there's like another trend, like after like whatever she calls the side stories next, like MyStreet, the sun has risen now.
Yeah.
Just after one season.
I mean, this does make me wonder about my theory about this being the world post whatever apocalyptic event and like a rebirth happened where like the world got reborn and then this is the world.
Which is ironically similar to what my theory was connecting this to roommates, because that does happen in roommates actually, but probably more viable than that.
Yeah, I would assume that's possible, which would be an interesting place to put After Dark, but I don't know. Or this may just be a weird alt universe that just exists in the multiverse somewhere that's like very similar to MyStreet, just less bad for our characters.
It'd be really funny if this is where we get like the line of "Don't hurt her, Aaron." You know, like the one that we don't know where it's from Mermaid Tales. Like if it came from here.
Oh, I hope not. That'd be such an underwhelming reveal.
Unless the show does get more dramatic over time. Yeah,
I mean,
that's also been known to happen in MyStreet.
I think MyStreet 7 and 8 is gonna be more dramatic enough. I don't think we need any more. I don't think we need another season of MyStreet to be dramatic right now.
Well, no, I said before that the pattern that the Aphmau cycle that Ghosty suggested, like I proposed something similar back in like 2018, 2017, also 2018 when I verbally clarified it, my first Aphmau reviews. But the trend starting from season 3 was lighthearted, dark, more lighthearted, and then darker. So that seems to be like the thing where it peaks fast. That's why I regret not making this video now in hindsight. But when season 6 ended, I was going to make a video, another Aphmau theory about like how there's going to be 8 seasons, because I thought, well, the trend is this, so we're going to get some lighthearted stuff. We're going to get maybe the search for Shu was always my like head canon for the name of it. Before we knew it was going to be Faded Memories, obviously. But then the end of the world stuff was going to be season 8, where things were going to like take that kind of turn. So yeah, I regret not doing that because it would have been the one Aphmau theory I could have like said, hey, yeah, guess what? I called it, people.
Wow.
But either way, like that pattern I still maintain, and you're reinforcing that now. Yeah, that's probably where this is going. And the fact that there are 2 different seasons now means they probably recognize that we need something that's a bit more lighthearted. Which if that's the case, and the social commentary fits even less here, because if this is meant to be the lighthearted stuff, then good lord, what are we in for?
I mean, I imagine Faded Memories is more character work, and like One Last Time is more like story work.
Most of the character work goes in the lighthearted series most of the time.
Yeah. There's character work in Emerald Secret, especially near the end.
No, I said most. Give or take a fraternal bond mending, or just existing to begin with.
Fraternal? Don't you mean crap? What would it be called? Broad turtle?
I guess
fraternal's like father and son.
No, it isn't. That's paternal.
I know words.
Fraternal is that comes from frater, which means brother. I think in Greek, which is where you get the word fraternity, brotherhood. That's what those are in universities. So yeah, all those frat bros are just
you know what Zane's role in this episode should have been. He should have made the blueprints. Zane's smart. I'm just saying.
Okay. Does he have knowledge of architecture? I don't know.
I don't know. We don't know what Zane went to college for, to be fair. We don't know. We just know he went to college. But we actually don't know any of our characters' degrees in this. We just know they all went to college. We don't know anything about their degrees.
Yeah, because there was a big thing in Valkyrie. It did say like, oh yeah, you don't. Yeah, but guess what? You don't have as many classes. And most of the conversations took place outside of that. Although we do know that Aaron did in fact study technological stuff. and that's it. That's all.
Yeah, we don't know any details about what they did for college. I mean, we kind of time skipped past all their college experiences, anyways.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I'm curious what the purpose is before their Mercy's return. Filler. That's what I'm guessing, which is not a bad thing necessarily. But that does seem to be, I like MyStreet filler when it's at its best, which is most of the time. So
when it's written well, I
Or
like
practice.
it. When it's written, but like there's sometimes some pretty bad MyStreet filler. Honestly, some of my favorite MyStreet episodes are like the more fillery episodes. Like I enjoy the episode where in season 3 where Aphmau got sick and everybody was trying to take care of her. Like I thought that was really good.
We also mentioned the cooking episode, which again, while does further the clinginess of Zane and
oh yeah, his rivalry with Gene,
and obviously like establishes like how the Lycan Corporation actually works thanks to Melissa. Well, it does do those things, but most of the rest of it is just them having fun, having a competition.
Yeah,
that's what like MyStreet feels like. It has like a couple of like recurring elements, and then which they get built on over time in those like background moments, and then we get either the commentary or the emotional moments towards the end. That's why Aphmau's more like emotional and commentary focused writing works over a prolonged period, because you get a chance to do those kinds of things. So yeah, I think we've probably explored more or less every single avenue we possibly could have tackled this from. I feel like 2/3 of views has been us talking afterward, which is in itself kind of fantastic, because again, the fact that we have stuff to talk about regarding this one episode alone does show, again, MyStreet's coming back. But yeah, for us, it is definitely time to leave. I'm gonna go watch that cooking episode, actually. Why not?
Hey.
But yeah, fanfans to your keyboards. Again, the silver lining of not having all the answers right now, you can bestow your own, whether it's crackpot theories or fan fiction. So to everyone, to your keyboards. But before you go to your keyboards, please leave a like or dislike, because your opinion matters. And subscribe if you haven't done so already. And on that note, until next time,
farewell.